Hello, everybody, and welcome in for ITC number 8. We're back again. Number 7 was too tempting for us, Lumids and I, returning for another year of it, buddy, and a lot of returning names in the players as well. Pretty excited for today. How about yourself? Welcome back.
I'm more concerned for the players here because I've played these maps myself and they're pretty challenging. So I'm expecting maybe a couple crashes in the first couple rounds here, but yeah, they're pretty challenging. But yeah, a couple returning players, but also a very huge amount of new players this year, which I'm excited to see as well.
Yeah, I think it's relevant to say that we should be worried for the players today because we're going into our group stages, of course, the early part of this tournament, and you want to get into that top section, that top 12 to get into tomorrow's leg of the tournament, going out anywhere from 13th down to 31st will be a disqualifying position from today. So you gotta qualify through, gotta push for the big numbers. But like you said, I think it's a bit of a step up on the demands from the tracks this year.
Yeah, the tracks are definitely more demanding and very more technical, in my opinion. But can we hop into the tracks and have a little bit of a look ourselves? But in my opinion, the most difficult track is probably map number 2, which is
at least for medal times. That's
for the medals.
Medal times. No, you're not allowed to do that anymore.
Yeah, Whitehorn medal times are pretty ridiculous. I think 2 or 3 people have got the AT. I think the top 6 are all in gold. Voltrix is another beautiful map I find very challenging, but everyone's favorite at the moment, Gex, seems to be aerials.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is the last map on the pack as well, so you would expect that probably it's the last one people have gotten on to practice as well. Might be just getting in their last times there too. I did really enjoy it though. I mean, it is a map of transitions, and I feel like just nailing those time and time again is going to be the big ask here. You've got to have consistency. It's what APAC has been demanding for years in the making here, and now that we've got some tracks that will punish any level of inconsistency, those transitions in particular are going to be a breaking point for players.
Yeah, and there's a lot of transitional points on these tracks where I think consistency will matter. And on the topic of consistency, we have to speak about some players here. Spark is coming in, winning the last 3 ITCs. Like, can anyone top Spark in India? That is the question.
Or will he continue to money launder? That's the that's the rest of the discussion there. That's the talking point. Pushing through the funds for himself here. We understand. No, Spark has been excellent. You're not wrong. And I think he's definitely got a shot in here. But I didn't see him topping any tracks this year. We might have some step ups.
Iridium's looking very solid again this year, coming in very consistently with top 6 in the AOTC winter and then 4th in the ITC 6, which was, I think, 2 years ago. So the consistency's still showing. And a game second last year, coming out the Spark, losing the Spark in the last round, which I'm pretty sure was a very, very close grand final as well. But I've got to give a shout out to my GOAT, Nami, 32 years old, still, in my opinion, one of the best players in the region. It comes in, year out, but consistency is always there, Gex. Cam 2 lover, always my fan in my heart. Cam 2 is my love.
So of the players that are making these top 12 positions, we've got our top 10 times for each track at the very least. There's a lot of recurring names here in the top 10 times for the tracks. Do you think that there's any risk that any of these names that we're seeing in these top 10s don't make our top 12, don't make it through to tomorrow?
Well, I'm going to bottle his name again, but it's just for the culture. I've got to jinx Pran just for the sake of it. I have to. He doesn't like us pronouncing his name. I've got to jinx him out of the top 10. I have to.
Prane himself is being called out here. No, I don't think he makes it. Absolutely not. He doesn't No, it's right out there. No, I believe he's coming in. I've been told in advance so that it's not too shocking to me when it happens that his tri-code for this event is Gex. So he's repping me. I don't know if I'm allowed to go against him or if I just say Pran correctly this one time and then we get that out of the way with.
I don't know if he's being smarty because there's a thing called the caster curse, and having a caster
Right?
repping with you alongside you, I don't think is the best option. I don't think it's good.
He's got you picking against him, which in my books means he's going to qualify. That's a guaranteed pick. But we have seen his name up on a lot of the maps. Aerials, he does have that 10th position on, but he has been up a few positions higher on a few of them there. I'm noticing Revelations, he's made his way fairly far up that one, Voltrix as well. So he's put some time by the looks of it into some of the earlier tracks. So Whitehorn sitting a little bit lower there. Iridium, like you said, though, is a name that's really pushing a lot of these leaderboards. Sparks still at the top there. And 42 really making... he made an impact last year on me, but I think he's in with a real chance this time as well.
In my opinion, I think 42 was the surprising result last year. I feel like he knocked out a couple of highly known players in the Indian Trackmania scene and really upset a couple of players. But I got to give a shout out to Carmidity here, who is the youngest player of the tournament, coming at the age of 16, which is in this scene of esports is a bit of an older esports, like you said before, Gex. But 16 years old is a very, very young player in this scene, and I'm keen to see how they play here.
I know looking through some of the lower qualifying players last time, reappearance of Marshall Baines there as well. DB making his way into the top 10 a few times here as well, making some really good appearances there. Curiosity, definitely some good names to see reappearing, because I know if you're not getting into that kind of spot where you're getting a lot of the attention on you and stuff, it can be tempting to let that drop to just get away and avoid that limelight in particular. But these guys are stepping back up into it again, and I think looking for that qualifying position. I have named a number of these reappearing names, in my pick'ems for the top 12. If you haven't made your pick'ems, of course, that is available as well on eCircuit Mania for ITCX. One would be the code for it, I believe, and day one pick'ems are up there as well. So just a reminder for people who are Lumids, that you do pick the guys that are not qualifying in today, and the positions that they will make.
Yeah, you don't do what I did, and you pick the ones you think are going to make it in today too, and you absolutely bottle your pick'ems.
No, I think that was a legitimate pick, and you don't think Pran is making it. That's what I'm saying.
I think Iridium is coming higher than 32nd. That's just me being honest here.
I would definitely hope so. 42, a few big names here that I think definitely are going to be qualifying through. I did name Marshall Baines as one of my picks to go through into that top 12, but again, I feel like that kind of bottom 4 positions of the top 12 in particular are going to be pretty heavily contested this year. I have been told that there's been a lot of step-ups from the region in general as well. This year should be a good competition here, so very, very keen to see this get underway. We've got a lot of people coming in very early to practice the track as well. Voltrix up there for the warm-up right now, and very, very keen to see this get underway. Lost Soul coming in now as well. From memory, a few surprise massive finishes from Lost Soul last time as well, and I think that's one that I'll be keeping my eye on for a recurrence of that possibility there.
And what I think a lot of people don't understand is this seeding round. It may be the first round. Like no one really gets eliminated from the seeding round, but it really does matter getting a higher seed here to really help out your group stages. Because if you're going against, I would say, Iridium and Spark in one group and you're bottom seed in there's a good chance you might not make it, because they are some of, if not the most consistent players in the region. But like I said, all players in one server, and it's a tech. it starts at 8 soon, and there's a 10-minute break between the rounds. But if you make it into cup round in a tough, one of the, I would say the bottom third round in the bottom group, there's going to be it's going to be very hard for you to get into the upper brackets, the lower brackets, and get out of there. It's going to be a tough, especially on these tracks. They're so tough.
And of course, even though you're expecting some of those bigger names to make it through, there's going to be that competition there as well to set the expectation for tomorrow. One of those names we didn't actually shout out much that did very well last year, Divyansh. I think Divyansh in with another good shout there as well. There's too many names to really go through here once we're in this top 31 section. We got way too many to go in depth here, but some people in the chat already shouting out that there's some matchups they want to see there as well. I see Spark versus Iridium would be fire. Says Duck, and I would thoroughly agree on that one.
I would love to know who their underdog would be in this tournament. I would love to know chat's underdog, because in my opinion, with all the new players coming in this year, it's hard to pick a top 16. Risk. It's hard to pick a top 16 players because there's so many unknown players in my eyes that haven't really competed in a tournament ever. I think I could see at least 5 players that have never played in a competition until today.
Calamity's forgotten about the tournament. He's in the Twitch chat. He's just come for the hangs.
Just while he was playing as a viewer.
Loraii says Spark is my underdog. Shout out to Loraii for production today as well, jumping over for some high quality stuff this year. I think we really have gone we've gone the extra distance this year for production quality in general. It's not just our producer himself that everything's gone to another level. Pretty happy to be on board for this one.
Yeah, no, I'm very grateful to be invited back, and it's great to have you back with me, Gex. But as we see, the match, I think, is about to start. We might be loaded into, I think the first one is a warm-up, so we're not going to get too excited here before we start cheering on our favourite races here. But, Gex, if I had to pick top 3, I would probably go 42 Spark Iridium coming out of this. And that's just my honest opinion from last year.
42 was so good out the gate for it as well. And already seeing a few players won't be starting on the warm-up here. I think there's, from memory last year, there are a few players on track that never do their warm-up. That I think there's a bit of a superstition behind it, just about that you do the warm-up and you get a good one of those, and that's your luck used up. If you get your good run then. Well, where's the good run when you need it? It's already been used up. There's a quota for those.
A lot of them like to not give out their lines, in my opinion. They like to sit behind them. So if people do have their ghost on, you could follow them behind. But some of them like to keep their lines sneaky. They do take alternate lines. But this first track, Gex, it is called a Vulturix, and it is, in my opinion, probably an easier one in the map pack. Yeah. But the first dirt corner, you can lose easily 0.5 to 0.7 just by missing the nose line.
Yeah, exactly. Already off the bat, even on a warm-up, though, we're seeing the big names out the front, 42 up there against Spark. I did see that Calamity got out of the Twitch chat. He was third in that pack for the warm-up, so good to see that he did make it in time.
Yeah, it's going to... I'm really... resuming match. A little bit of tech issues. We're sweet. We're just teasing you. We're just teasing you, chat. We are teasing. Made it.
There we go. He got in 2 seconds before the match began, but we are on board now. SRC Code going to be the first one making a large error there. Scorpion looking like he's having some tech issues here after that last second reconnection back, and will be held at the back here. He probably will update at some point, but he might get disconnected here, actually. The front being held by Iridium right now with a big push in the last second or so there.
And I'm not going to lie, the top 2 are looking very solid. Iridium has a very decent lead. 0.2 up on a track like this is insane. But this is what we were talking about. I feel like the top group are just going to be side by side the whole way through these tracks. And we head over to the finish line. Iridium's going to take out round 1, followed by 42 and Divinash. But a 46-0. 0.8 faster than an AT already, Gex, in the first round. In seeding is ridiculous.
Calamity came in really late there too, after a pretty clean practice run there. I think early on here you're going to see a lot of the nerves showing before players settle into the competition as well. You might see that kind of finish there as a result of that pressure. But you do kind of accustomize yourself to the tournament as it goes along as well. So there will be time to be made up by some of the players on track.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be hard for us here at the start, because there is a lot of races on at the track. But coming into this first corner, the no slide seems to be working for Nami, and again, Iridium and Spark, the first two coming out of this first sector. But coming into this left corner here is a make or break. Yeah. You either lose a gear going down the third, or you can clip the outside of that right wall, and you can just lose absolutely everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that one there, very, very close to losing it on some really fast runs there. That black pillar claiming some souls. Spark out ahead right now, though, by some margin. 42 following up. Those were the names that you picked out, so good to see that expectations are being met right now. Nami in the pack, very, very well there as well, though, and another tight pack for that front kind of 8 cars, which is where I expect the solidity to be. As I said, it's kind of the bottom 4 of those top 12, where the question really is where that can be overwhelmed for some new names to be making it into the playoffs tomorrow.
And a couple people are not having the best time right now. I think it's Scorpid and Vicky. I don't know if Scorpid's in the lobby, but he's 0. But Vicky as well, I think, is on 20 points, which is quite unlucky. But we are into another round, and
I believe we're pausing again for Scorpid here. Going to be trying to get Scorpid's runs to be relevant here, or this could be very upsetting in the tournament. That top 8 consistency really should be containing Scorpid, and I don't think he's really here for it right now.
The Scorpid has been finishing easily top 5 to 6 in the last couple ITC tournaments, so not the best look coming into the first round with some, hopefully it's only net issues and not PC issues, because you wouldn't want that, because then that will be internal.
Going. he's going for a dragon yeet. He's not looking for it.
No.
Scorpion joined the game. There we go. Let's see if we've got somebody back here.
Do we have movement? No. Scorpion's still having issues, I think. It's not looking the best here for Scorpion, which is... Oh, wait.
We have movement.
We're live. Miguchi.
We may see an unpause here in a moment. I'm not seeing any kind of ghosting from the momentum from Scorpid right now, so we may be good. Yeah, there we go. The ready called. We are resuming here. And very important that Scorpid gets some relevancy early here once more, because already a bit of a drop-off in those first 2 rounds, obviously, as a result of the disconnect.
But in my opinion, 42 is on top right now, Gex, in the leaderboard. Overall, 42 is number 1, followed by Iridium and Spark, which I thought will be the top 2. But 42 is proven, hopefully me right, that the potential is going to show this year, and I think it's 42's year.
Yeah, I think 42 definitely was a huge shout last time, and had his look in to make that in the long run as well, and dropped off right at the end of that tournament to some of those bigger names and the pressure that provides. But certainly seeing some names coming up through the pack here. Scorpion's still having some issues getting up in front. He is going to get 12th there, but... seeing, that same kind of consistency out front. Good to see DB very deep in this pack, 7th place right now.
Yeah, DB's looking very solid today, and that's good to see that Scorpion was actually moving this round and not lagging. It can finish a run, which is very good. Hopefully Scorpion can have the comeback of the century to bring themselves back into hopefully the upper brackets of the rounds. But yeah, DB, in my opinion, is the impressive one. I'm going to call it out again. Pran in 6 is showing their consistency once again. I think they finished 5th and 6th last year, tied with, was it 42 or was it Nami they were tied with? I'm not sure. But this left section here on the plastic is, in my opinion, is the most difficult part on the track. Followed by this uphill left drift into this tight right grass, followed by a tight left, like tight gap, and then into a jump down. Go low so you don't get any air time, so you keep your speed. And you want to keep your 4th gear here. 42 is looking very solid. Goes a bit wide. It's got to give a bit of time there. Iridium to come back in.
Pren in the mix as well. Gets a good line through there right towards the ending. 42. Who's going to snipe it out? 42. And Pren out ahead again. Sorry, Prane there in second. That's crazy work on the top 4 right now. Getting out some great times. Iridium in there in third again as 42 and Prane start to really battle it out.
Scorpid making their way straight up the leaderboards with another 30-point run, chucks them straight up to 20th. So they're making quick use of the points that are given on this first track. They seem to be pretty consistent here, Gex, but 42 has been my impressor here.
Just getting a little bit of clip out on that line on the right-hand side there. If you can get on the Indian flag at the beginning there, gets a little bit of speed out. You can carry that through this plastic section. Iridium facing some net issues there, but as he snaps back in, might actually take first place here. He is out ahead. Pran can't hold the lead. Can he get it back? It's a good chase, but into the dirt they go.
It's going to be side by side here. It's really neck and neck. It's Divinash is up there with Pran and Iridium, but Spark has a beautiful line, but I think this one, it's going to be neck and neck again. I can't pick. Iridium's got it.
It's Iridium, yep. By less than 0.1 of a second there, I think, as well. That's very, very close for the top 3 there. Spark actually fell a little bit behind there, and 42 back in 6th again.
We're only in seed in here. We're doing 45.9s.
Yeah.
That's very solid times. I struggled to even get a 47.
Yeah. For consistent times. Pretty crazy. We are through our first map, though, and we already have some names standing out there. Some players apparently not particularly happy with Voltrix there.
But 42 with over nearly 30 points ahead of the pack. Iridium and Spark very close behind by 5 points between them. And then Pran is very impressive today. 200 points already in the first round is looking very good, but we got Scorpids made their way back up, and I think we've had a little DC here as well again.
Scorpid should do well on this one since he created the map. That would be an advantage to it. 42 battling him for that now, though, and you know, theoretically speaking, if Scorpid made the map, then an author's medal should do you well.
Yeah, the author medal here is pretty insane. If you did struggle to get the author medal in the practice warm-up for this cup, you're not the only one, all right? You ain't the only one. So Scorpid just said, I'm going to make it as hard as you can ever think. And they've done just that. They've done just that. But in
Curiosity
my opinion, this ending is the most important on the map. If you can jump the engine off, you are gaining easily nearly a second, Gex.
I don't think we even mentioned Curiosity on map 1. He did have a decent time in the top 10 leaderboards for Voltrix, but he is 4th, I believe, for Whitehorn time holders right now, and that did prove itself out in the first run of the race, and he's out ahead again now.
He's up there with 42, but 42's having a beautiful run, and as you see, the pack catches back up. This one, there's so many alternate lines on this track that you don't really know who is going to be leading. As 42 makes a major mistake and clips the boost, that's going to leave him back in the field. It's going to be up to Pran, Spark, and Iridium, the top 3 going into this final section here, guys.
Really getting that drop down with the downward booster. If you can get the full slide through the next corner, that's going to be the make or break. I think there's going to be some members of this tournament that do have struggled to get that. And oh my goodness, losing speed right before the engine off. That is lethal. Iridium barely makes it over the bar at all, but he's going to lose a lot of places to that.
from first to seventh, loses nearly 3 seconds from one clip on a wall on the last straight. That is pain. But again, Curiosity is still getting consistent points. 20 points there in that round wasn't the best they've done, but they're still in the top 6 at the moment. But Nami is climbing, Gex. There's starting to be a breakthrough from the top 5. The top 5 are starting to make a run for it.
Curiosity really proving here that that the emphasis needs to be on consistency. Curiosity has some unbelievable time on this track, and he is, as I said, 4th quickest time holder on it. But if you can't do that back to back to back, then it matters for naught when it comes to tournament play, and you've got to be in the front consistently. Right now, though, Spark showing that consistency out ahead again, 42, still chasing here, and look, I'm liking your picks early for the top of this tournament. It can seem easy enough, but I think you might have the order right, particularly if there's going to be a little bit of an upset here.
It's definitely looking solid here, but Divinash is going to get some amazing points here if he keeps it clean through the last section, which they do. Does get the engine clear. Big third place from Divinash, which is going to nab him 45 points. That might move him all the way up to 6, just a couple points off Nami now. And yeah, this top 5, Gex, is nearly over 50 points ahead of the entire field, which is a big gap this early on into round 2.
And Iridium, again, he's just not losing positions here. He's going to continue to move up, in fact, into 3rd there with, I think he only made a 6th in place in that last run there. It is, again, the consistency that is coming through from Iridium. But as the tournament closes into the narrow end of things, you will have to start to just tighten those runs up. You'll have to take more risks to be able to get out ahead of your opponents. This kind of qualification area, this group stage, it's going to remove a lot of that risk. Iridium, a huge error there is going to send him way back.
Iridium, the caster curse is kicked in already. First round of the day. Iridium has a massive mistake as we're trying to gas him up. But Pren's having a beauty of a run at the moment. And Divinash, again, on right horn. Seems to be consistent here. Seems to be one of their favourite maps. But the Curiosity comes out in number 1, which might be some well-needed points here as they just drop down to 7th in the leading.
The prawn! He's touched the back wheel! He's sent it! Smells like fish to me. He's absolutely binned it. That's rough.
Nami DNF'd. Oh, that is major point loss.
That's an upsetting round for a number of players there.
Yeah, it's a big upsetting. 18 points from Iridium, 0 from Nami. Marshall, who was in top 10, got a 16-point round, which is possibly going to knock them back out of the top 10. And it has. Oh, just hanging on by a thread.
And DB just barely making that top 10 again as well, into 9th place. So I feel like there, again, is a little bit of consistency there, but it is only just into the top 10. DB is somebody who throughout the tournament this weekend, I will be looking for a little bit more speed out of, I think.
I feel like DB last year was the same. Had a slower start into the earlier rounds, but starts to pick it up at the end of the seeding rounds and continues on with that momentum throughout the rest of the tournament. But these top 5, I don't think... I got to say, it's 7 at the moment, really. There's the top 7 that are really starting to pull away from the group. And they're the ones I think are all at the front right now, and it's correct. The top 7 are, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're missing... Curiosity has a big mistake! Nami as well!
Made it through this time. And it is a solid finish from the front 3. Below that, we start to throw some banners into the works. DB makes a 6th this time. Divyansh still holding into that top 5, though, with 5th place there. I feel like Divyansh, this is a map for him.
Yeah, Divyansh has had a massive map. Consistent top 5s non-stop. Couple podiums in this round as well, which is what you need. And it's proven. Divyansh is just about to overtake Curiosity, and I think Divyansh was 9th going into this map. So that's a major climb here in one map. But I just think I've seen just Marshall Baines have a big mistake there at the start.
Oof. Yeah, I love seeing this from Divyansh as well, because he's actually making positions above the position he holds on the leaderboard times as well. He did get 7th there on the leaderboards, and pushing into that top 5 consistently means he has prioritized that consistency over his peak times probably, and that's coming out to get him some good points here in the early rounds.
Divinash hasn't played ITC for years now, I'm pretty sure. I know they missed out last year, so it's good to see them competing again and showing that they can still compete up with the best in the region. As Spark at 42 just made their way with an absolutely flawless run here. This one might be a quick time.
Yeah.
This one's quick. 53.9. That is insane.
Yeah, that is approaching. I mean, that is a top 10 time. What is that? 7th. That would be 7th or 8th there. You would be looking at, and I think there's a couple of 54s in the top 10 there as well. So multiple times there actually that would be in the top 10 runs out from that. Huge round. Big map. Then the MVP of that map has to go to Divinash and getting some major points to climb the ranks. But yeah, world record times in seeding is scary. If they're doing world records in seeding, imagine if they go full pace in finals. It's only going to get quicker throughout this weekend, and they're only going to keep practicing when this tournament finishes today. So I'm scared, Gax. These times I reckon are going to be a 52 on that track potentially. Oh, I think last season you and I covered this, and we did see through the last 3 rounds of the tournament in particular, we saw multiple record-breaking runs there, taking out the number 1 place. It is definitely not over and done with by the time the tournament begins. It does show that maybe there is more time to be put into these tracks before you even get into the competition, because it's coming down to how fast you can learn the track even on the days still. Yeah, it's very, very tough. Like I've been saying it the whole stream, and we're going to continue saying it. These tracks are, in my opinion, more difficult than last year, and I thought last year's was hard. But we are heading into Revelations here, and once again, Iridium, Spark, Curiosity are the top 3 you need to beat here. They are 1, 2, and 3 in the record books again. But 42 and Nami are both up there as well. Scorpion, not quite the fastest here, but still sitting nice in 7th fastest in the world. I gotta say, I love this track. The intro here, just that starting section, that grass turn downhill there, full speed. I love that. It is so much fun getting up that speed and then dropping down to the regular track surface below. Is so good there. It's a track that flows really well, and that is important when, again, we're starting to get into the tracks now that, like I was talking about before we started, there's just so much emphasis on transitions being perfect. It is a very transition heavy track once more. Very, very transitional heavy track, and I think we potentially might have another DC if I'm not mistaken. I think we've cast a curse Divi's internet to turn off. No. Which is not what you want to see when you're in top 5 going into map 3. And this dirt section here is very clean, but one of the most easiest sections on the map, but also easy to make a mistake. And this left here into the bobsled, if you do take it too far on the inside, you do not have enough. But this is a NASCAR corner here, which can make or break your runs. Going into this deep dark grass section with a tight left into a tight right onto the road with a clean little drift. And this leads into the final section with this deep left in the plastic. Iridium is having such a clean run right now. At no point has looked to have the lead taken from him, and he has quite the lead here. 55.578 is that would be third. That would be the third best run ever put on. Oh, sorry, I'm still looking at Whitehorn. That's my bad. But that is still deep in the top times to this track out of the first run on it. That's crazy. It's less than a 10th of top 10 world already. And Camille, the youngest player, coming into his first tournament, I think we are having a pause here for Divi's internet. Hopefully Divi. At least we've got Scorpion. Yes, Scorpion kept up there too. Yeah, yep. His net's working. Pushing back in. Great side. Yeah. Whereabouts is he? 13th already. Wow. Yeah. He had a good early half of that track, but I think there was some issues there towards the back end of the first run. But I feel like this is one that he should definitely have some preference towards as a track. May see him come out well.
It's been confirmed there won't be any more pauses after this for the seeding round, as we are on a little bit of a time schedule here. Hopefully Divi can get back in and we'll be able to get this on. But again, 42 is leading the charge here, Gex, against Spark. These two are nearly 40 points ahead of Iridium, which, in my opinion, is very, very hard to do in a point race against Iridium.
And 42, where he had top 2 times. He was first on Voltrix and second on Whitehorn. He does slip back to, I believe it's 5th here on this track as well. So to see him be able to maintain those top times, he will be 5th on Flojo, which would be the next, and the last map on the pack, he slips all the way down to 7th there as well. So I feel like that's just a representation of how much time he's probably spent on each of these tracks. So put a lot of time into those first 2, fair bit into this 3rd, and then it starts to drop away more towards the end of the pack. I do think that there's probably a few players who have done that. If you want that consistency, you've just got to put the time in consistently across the entire map pack as well. But I suppose if you want to put your importance on certain tracks to get your lead out score-wise in a tournament, there is strategy to that as well. So hopefully for 42 there, if he can pick the maps he's put the most time into and take out big wins there, he can put the points in where it counts once we get into the playoffs as well.
Yeah, just hopefully 42 coming into these last 3 maps, which are not their best, even though they're still in the top 10 world records, which is insane to say in general. They hopefully can consistently get top 5s, and I think that's all you need in these seedings. If you can get into top 10, you might have a free chance in a higher bracket round, which would probably be the easiest way to make it into the semis and quarters. But going into this first proper round, I think it's the second proper round here, Curiosity, Spark, and 42 are the top 3 again going into it.
Iridium again started that looking like nobody was going to be able to take it from him, but a little tiny lip on one of the peaks through the dirt there did take some time from him. He's getting back again here, catching 42. In fact, can he hold the lead? 42, it's going to be lost to him. Iridium makes a great turn through there. Does he have the speed to hold it? Up through around that big bollard there. And Iridium takes it back. What a race from Iridium, even with a relatively decent mistake there. Takes it back from 42. That's crazy.
I love the use of the alternate lines from both the players. Everyone was taking different lines. It was a 3-way battle. And I seen 42 dived up the inside going into the last corner, trying to make it up, but Iridium carried a bit more speed and just made it across the finish line. But these seeded rounds are a lot closer than they should be. It's pretty much like we're watching finals here in the first couple rounds.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Iridium again gonna perfect that line. He has been out ahead after the first segment of this map every single time with some margin of error to be spared, and he's not gonna lip it this time. Gonna hold that corner through the dirt and again holds it out. Oh, he's gone wide, and that is a absolute nightmare. I do not see him recovering that one.
Yeah, he took it too far on the inside. It didn't give him enough base to make the corner. He slipped the black box, which just gave him a slowdown. But I think this one's going to come down to Pran and Sparky as they both take the same line. Sid Sensei is up on the pack at the moment as well. A name we haven't seen in the top 5 at the moment. As this Spark... Oh, Pran had a mistake!
That's huge. DB gets through with a good time there in 6th as well, but... Pran... gonna come through in 5th there. It was such a good fight for those top 2 spots. Curiosity was holding 3rd all the way through that. And again, it comes down to consistency. Curiosity might not have had the speed over Pran there, but can just make the consistency work. Comes through with the time that gets him 2nd.
As Iridium having these little mistakes is really giving space to the top 2 now as well. It is over 50 points now. The gap from 2nd to 3rd, which is something you never see in a Trackmania tournament. But again, Spark 42. The most consistent players at the moment are back at the front of the pack on any map and any track they play on. But Divi Nash again, Gex, up the top, playing with the big boys here. Third place again at the moment, going into the NASCAR corner.
Yeah, really playing at high level. Oh, pushes through into first. Big error there. 42 falls back as well. Pran's going to make that work for him, trying to get second right now. Cuts in early. That seems to be a good strategy that's being used by these top times. A massive error out of second place there will give it away to Pran as well, but Divyansh holds it once more into a first place. That's his second big win out there, and even on the ones that hasn't, he's still had some of the fastest segments in this track. The sectors themselves going down to Divyansh one by one, just looking absolutely fantastic right now.
Scorped, I think, is only about 10 points away now from top 10 after, I think, having the DC from 5, I think it was about 3 rounds they had 0 points. This comeback from Scorped needs to be looked at because they are flying through the field as well. But Sid Sensei, got to give a community shout out to Sid Sensei, 9th place overall right now. A name I've never heard of in the scene is absolutely cooking here.
Yeah, it's certainly a preferential map there, and being able to sit up with the big names just shows that it's just a matter of work to get in amongst the big dogs in this tournament. And even if it takes another season to see that name up there, it's so much promise to when you see those newer names, at least for us, newer names coming in and making that impression.
This is what Iridium needs here. This is a way better run from Iridium. In first place, taking it on with Sid Sensei. I think there was a mistake there from Spark, if I'm not mistaken. Iridium takes it. And again,
Pran, no! He's hit the finish line and bounced off it twice. He's gone. He's so gone. Oh, that's brutal. 20th position from Pran.
Oh, no. Pran has had the blunder of a blunder. Hits the finish line twice, can't get across.
I'm so glad that he doesn't have the Gex tri-code on. That would be humiliating for me right now.
I'm upset he's not running it, to be honest with you. I'm upset he's not running it.
We were told he was.
Bring up the Gex.
And he didn't, yeah. I've got complaints to make.
But we are going to head on into our next map, which is Flojo. And I think from the players' perspective, I think this was one of their not so favorite in the community. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think many people enjoyed this one.
There's just so many points on this track for not just error, but major error, like absolute track ruining errors. I feel like this is one of the easiest tracks to lose your position completely, go to the back of the pack. And consistency, while we've been talking about it, is about holding good times, generally speaking. In this one, it might just be making it through in somewhere near expectation. We're already seeing in the warm-up a few little errors there.
Who has the fella's horn? I heard that. You are not getting away with it. I heard it with my ears. All right? But in my opinion, I think this bit here, you can lose the 4th gear going up. And if you lose it into the 3rd, going into this grass bit, you are easily down 30 kilometers to 12 to 30 kilometers, which is just not it on Trackmania. But this ice section did my head in. I'm going to be honest. Whoever created this track, you made this just to piss people off. Be honest. Be honest. There's going to be certain people that are going to throw it a bit too hard and they're going to spin out into the wall. It's going to happen. What should happen in the rounds?
Actually, I love the finish on this. Given I don't have to compete on it, but I love the ice finish on this. When I only have to make it count once, I'm good with that. If my top time is the only one that matters, see, that's a fun ending. But yeah, this is gonna have some issues for consistency for multiple members of this pack. We will have the experts on the ice maps kind of rear their head toward the end of this one for sure, but you've got to give that opportunity as well. If you're somebody who plays through the regular season, you're an ice expert, and you don't get to use your pride and joy skill set, then you're going to be a little annoyed.
as we see here, going into this first round, again, the consistent fellas are up the front. Spark, Iridium, Nami. Sensei makes a big mistake. This is going to leave it up to Iridium with a bit of a gap. 42 made the mistake, I said. 42 did. I was watching him the whole time. I cursed him. I absolutely cursed him.
Divyansh making it into that top 8 again there with a 7th place, but Iridium and Pran out ahead again. Spark coming in behind that. Nami, Dogger making a bit of an appearance up here as well. Is it Dogger or Dog A? Somebody tell me before I create another nickname for somebody. I am fine with Prain. We can keep Prain forever. But somebody help poor Dog here.
Poor Dogger's actually doing very well. He gets 321 points, only about 54 points away from top 10, which is a very solid effort. And it is Dogger. It is confirmed Dogger.
Yes, Dogger.
Okay, Dogger.
Confirmed by chat. And if anybody has complaints, you can take it up with chat, not me this time.
Take it up with my management, which I'm going to say is Spark for this tournament.
Everybody else will be happy enough to take it up with him if he's out ahead here. They'll have gripes.
As this underground turn here, in my opinion, is the most the pain. It really is.
It's terrifying, isn't it?
Really get you going. Who was that with the mistake? Had to be a mistake.
I don't know. I just saw the wipeout on the inside pole there on the left of Iridium as they came through. But Iridium is trailing the group. So is Scorpid, Marshall Baines. It's the Curiosity up ahead though. Oh my goodness. I think he's taken it. He has indeed. Not much between him and Spark, but what an ending from Curiosity.
That was a beautiful, beautiful run from Spark and Curiosity. Side by side. Throughout the whole, I reckon half the track they were side by side. Again, but 42 may not be in the top 2, but still, 3rd place at the moment. Still trying to catch Spark, but Spark has taken over top. Spark is in first now, Gex, which is not where you want Spark to be, because if Spark gets a run going, the consistency just keeps, it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. Marshall is also, I got to give a shout out to Marshall, being 10th place again. They really surprised me last year in ITC, and they really impressed me again this year. And I'm very grateful for how they're doing again.
Yeah, Marshall Baines was a bit of a surprise for us last year, I think. And this time around, I was ready for it. I was ready for him to come through with some great times and getting into the back end of this. Again, I think Marshall Baines is one that will, throughout the weekend, improve on times. But it's whether he can make that back end run, really, against the truly great times in this tournament. That's where the question lies. But Iridium, speaking of truly great times, way out ahead right now.
Divinash again, though, is just, in my opinion,
whoa, he's clipped it.
Oh my! Big mistake, I think, from Iridium. Spark's going to chase down Divinash at the finish, but it's got to be Divinash
Iridium,
at the front.
He's crashed out on the finish line. He didn't make the jump off the ice. He will the second time around, but already lost that position well and truly. But like you said, Divyansh coming through with a great chase on him there and gets the ending right. It came down to trying to make up too much time, I think, there to off that small mistake. I say small, he was going to lose several positions regardless. But yeah, trying to make up too much time through the ice and ran just that little bit wide.
And it's good to see I'm not the only one in the community that absolutely despises off. Thank everyone in this community for agreeing with me. I've seen about 7 messages saying, yep, the ice done me again. And that's all I've seen from all. But going into this dirt section, this left-right into the wall ride and back underneath the bridge, Iridium, as always, in my opinion, has been at the front here, but there's massive mistakes. At least 3 people hit the wall, including 42, which is not what you want to see in the top 2.
No.
Spark made a one as well. Big mistake.
Yep, and that's let Pran back into 3rd. He's going to drop some as well. DB in the top 5 right now. Iridium's going to make a huge finish here and make up for the mistake in the last round. But the Curiosity, that is some consistency from the Curiosity in one of the toughest tracks to get consistency on. Really impressed by the Curiosity right now.
Curiosity was tied with Iridium on points before this round. So now only being down 10. Curiosity is dominating. Third place, almost about 80 to 60 points ahead of Pran in fifth. The top four are looking insane, very consistent. But again, Divi Nash, in my opinion, is the impressor. But Nami, not really having the best day right now, Gex. You usually see them in the top 5. They're sitting down in 7th.
Worth a shout out for DB on that last run as well. Fourth position, doesn't even have a top 10 time for our set times here on FloJo. So a massive improvement on the day from DB here. Whoa, that's a close margin for error, but Iridium and Nami both snipe it out ahead. Pran trying to get in amongst it. Oh, there's the error. Iridium can hold it though. Gonna come around. That was where the error was there, that outside edge, that left-hand side. But oh my goodness, could get sniped here. Pran might not have the right angle though. Iridium, it's down to the wire, takes it by nothing. 0.02.
They were side by side going into the ice, and Iridium, I think, had a bit of a mistake on the entry, which really opened the door for Pran. And then somehow Iridium just picked up pace on the outside of the ice and just overtook him at the very end into the finish line. What a round. We've had so many close rounds. I'd say about 10, less than a 10th between the top two. But we're going to head into if I'm not mistaken, this is the 5th round, the last map of the seeding bracket here, Gex.
Yeah, at least for their sake, we get to leave the ice slide behind and we go into just a little bit more uncertainty here entirely. That red plastic section, the amount of bounce involved in that, if you can't get your wheels down for traction fast, you will lose so much time. This is a brutal track for just losing monumental amounts of time off really minor errors.
Oh yeah, it's a very, very time-consuming map. Any little mistakes here can cost you majorly, but I'm going to call out Carmility here. They said this is their track. I'm expecting a top 5. The pressure may be there. As we see in this warm-up, there's multiple lines you could take here as well, but I find this quarter pipe jump after this left here is going to cost a lot of people here with mistakes, Gex.
Again, it's down to those transition. That landing there hasn't serviced Iridium as well as it has the Curiosity. Has gotten a good line out. Spark might take first here, though. It's a 3-man fight. Iridium taps the checkpoint up in. Can you get the brakes on early enough without actually risking not getting that checkpoint is a big question there. Looks like many have actually. Iridium slipping back into the track more. Curiosity well out ahead now. DB in second. Pran gonna chase up. Pran might get it as well. I think that's a huge error there. And we do lose one at the last moment on the warm-up. That is some massive stuff. I love to see how hard they push themselves on that.
The decent times through the warm-up, I'm pretty sure we were seeing 50s in the warm-up, which is
wouldn't shock me at all.
80. And
I suppose that's where you can, though. It is a warm-up. You don't need to, like, if you make the mistake, you make the mistake. But yeah, exactly. But it also does set the it sets the pace for how you're going to come through these rounds.
I hope SRC and Dogger can have a good round here. Dogger didn't really have the best map before Gex. It's dropped down a couple places. Was in 11th, now down in 14th coming into here. But again, these top ones, DB, a very surprising name to be in the second place at the moment, but it's still holding up there. It's looking very close into this grass section. Pran makes a big mistake touching the wall. It's going to be Iridium Nami, but I think Iridium, who's going to be lowest here?
Just barely clipped the checkpoint. Iridium holding a great line through there. Might take the lead back here as well.
I just don't get how they can get so low, but here we go. A lot of mistakes can happen. Everyone seems to be doing it clean. Spark takes it over Iridium. What a round. 50.7 ATs are being hit early, and this one again is a tough AT.
I gotta say, when I ran through these maps, I did it all in one day. By the time I got to this as the last one, particularly after getting medal times in track 2, I was done. I was ready to call it after anywhere near like just A medal's fine. I'm good. I never made the good finish on this one, and I feel like there is so much risk to not making it as well. If you don't get that final corner right, you have to cut off so much time if you have to go left through there.
It's the fact that you have to go so far left and then cut to the right instantly to be able to make the jump. If you don't go too far left, you nick the wall. If you turn right too early, you don't have enough speed to make it up to the hard finish, and it really can scuff you up here. As we're going to hit into the quarter pipe, 42 has absolutely got it as low as you can go, and has taken the lead going into this plastic part here.
Yeah, I think Pran hit that line as well, and has been able to make up a ton of time here. Is sneaking past into second, can hold it as well. 42 slips back to third.
Yeah, this is a very tough track here. I don't think we're going to see any faster than a 50.2 or 50.3. I'll be very happy if we see those.
Look at the time difference between Pren and 42. They're less than 0.02 of a second there between second and third. So, Spark had that 0.1 of a lead into first place, though, and Spark looking way out ahead right now.
Yeah,
Spark is about to hit his 1,000 points.
Spark proven why they've won the last 3 ITCs. Nearly over 100 points ahead of second place, starting to really show why they're number one. But can they continue on and get 1,000 points now without getting... Oh, well, it's going to happen this round. It's Spark. They're already up in the second place, chasing down Iridium here on this plastic section, which connects into a sign, which gives you a bit more grip. Now, I think Iridium had a massive mistake. Had to respawn back there.
Oh, there's a few more mistakes going on, but coming up into this, is anybody going to make the error? I think Pran, did he get it? Oh, my goodness. He must have touched that by a pixel.
I don't understand how he's got that, but 42's clipped the inside wall, which is going to cost him to lose the gear connection to make the gap. Oh! Spark is just looking out of this world right now. Spark is showing just speed consistency. SRC code, third place, by the way. A ridiculous run there from SRC. Let's go.
Pren made a mistake on the that narrow gap into the ending segment there, and ended up getting from, I believe he was third down to 10th in that last few seconds of the track too. So again, it like I said, I think this last track here can break consistency very, very strongly. Lot of scary moments on this one, and it's suffering for a lot of the biggest players right now.
Again, the bigger players were the ones that said this was their favorite track. This was mainly everyone's favorite track off the map pack. But going into this, it's looking like Spark is just the top dog here. Can show the pace and can just keep up with the pace. As this is looking like a beautiful run again. It's between Spark and Iridium. They're ahead by at least 0.05, I would say. And it's 2 tenths, nearly. 2 tenths between them. Oh, wow. How they even
low
touched
run. That's crazy. Pran runs a little bit higher on that. Is trailing the group by some margin. Scorpid at the back of that front area right now. I believe there's about 6 players in it. 42 making his way up. Sid Sensei's deep in it though, and he's going to make a great run here in 5th. Scorpid in 3rd there as well. Another great one. But Iridium and Spark leading up in 1st and 2nd.
50, I think it was a 50.4, which is a, fourth in the world time by Iridium, and Spark again with the 6th in the world time. We are going a bit quick here for seeding, boys. A bit quick. We're doing nearly world records already. Let's calm it down a little bit. There's already a lot of points ahead. You just need to chill.
Those 50.4s being set by Spark and Iridium, that kind of area, are only 0.2 off of their own PBs. Spark holds the world record right now, so certainly am prepared to see that beaten in tournament this weekend.
Yeah, I feel like tomorrow we are going to see record. Pretty much all track speeds broken again. They're all going to be fresh. But again, look at this. Spark has just ran away with it a little bit here going into the half-pipe section.
So quick.
But can he keep it low? That is about as low as a human can get on a checkpoint. I don't know how they even get it half the time.
There's so many of these guys are capable of a singular pixel of their wheel on that checkpoint. Absolutely insane.
50.4
Spark is
again.
going to take it out. That's insane. The consistency out of Spark to be 0.2 off his record, lap after lap. That is just wrong. Yeah, I disqualify you now, actually, just for my own ego.
That's back-to-back fourth in the world times. Like, that's not human. That's not human. But that is the end.
Just for Spark's sake, though, that I don't actually disqualify you. Please don't fire me. We're good. Spark out ahead is absolutely funneling himself some money right now. This is looking very, very good for him.
If I'm not mistaken, I think it was Spark, Iridium, and no, it was Spark 42, Iridium, and then I think it was. Oh, I don't remember. I need to have to go back and have a look at the
I'd have
scoreboard.
to check it again myself.
But the top three are looking very solid. Spark was nearly 200 points ahead by that last map and nearly gained over 100 on 42 there. So 42 going into these next rounds needs to work a little bit on these last three maps, but the first two they can absolutely cook on.
Yeah, some great final runs out there from Sid Sensei as well. Definitely did like that. Who was it that you called out at the beginning there that said that was their favorite track and you wanted to see a top five from?
The youngest racer in the tournament. That was community. They loved that track.
Did we see a top five from them?
I'm pretty sure they got a top five. I'm pretty sure there was a top
fair
five.
Enough. Living up to rumors, then their own self-started rumors as it is, but they do come through looking very, very good for that one.
Yeah, it was a very good run, but once again, we're going into this next round where it's the players who I thought were going to be up the top three are the top three at the moment. Nami didn't really have the best placement that I thought Nami would have. I thought it would be easily top five. I think they got 6 there at the end. But Divi Nash, very impressive. I pulled off, I think, a top 5 there, which is a very solid. And DB again, from last year, Gex, the improvement from DB has to be talked about. They are cooking this year as well.
Yeah, and it's not so much that we're seeing these incredible individual times out of DB, though some of them have been good. It is the consistency to be talked about with DB. I feel like there's just not that many mistakes coming out of the player, and that does bring your average points up, particularly through those qualifiers early there. It really, really does rise you up through the ranks. DB doing very, very well for consistency. Welcome back, everybody, as we get back into our group stages now of ITC number 8. Our qualifiers done and our points set in stone for that. It has been a little bit of it's a taste of what's to come, isn't it, Lumens?
It's been a bit of a taste of what's to come, but also heading into the smaller rounds where it's about 4 people per round, per group, instead of having the entire field on the track as once. It's going to be a lot easier to see how each player races and which lines they're taking and how consistent they really are when the pressure's on. Because in these group rounds, when there's only 4 of you, it really comes down. One mistake, you're in dead last. Like, there's not much you can do if the others don't crash. And we're heading into Whitehorn here first. In my opinion, one mistake is really going to cost you. It's a do or die map here.
Yeah, seeding does unfortunately mean that you have already the evidence of who would be at the back of these packs and who should be at the front. But we've picked a great one to start us here, and we are heading in already 42 in this one. Just had some blisteringly fast times out in that early stages moments ago, and Scorpid had some of the best consistency there as well. He did have some net issues. We're already seeing a little bit of that on field. Hopefully he's okay through this.
Yeah, Scorpid not really seeded where they should be, in my opinion. So this group having 42 Scorpid, Nami, and Neo is, in my opinion, the toughest group to be in, because you got three top 6 players, in my opinion, in this group. And now they're fighting for 2 spots in the upper bracket. So it's anyone's game here. As you see, Scorpid showing who's clutch.
Oh, Nami.
42
oh
overtaken as well by Nami.
Did you see the line he took through at the end there? It goes high up the ice so that they get the skip of the engine block completely and can accelerate all the way through to the to that finish line. Look, I'm a reverse map player myself. I love the modified main campaign, and that's exactly the first time I ran this. I saw that ending. I was like, I bet I can skip that. Second time I ran through and I did it. I was like, that's the line to take. Somebody's on it. I love it.
I'm just admiring 42's car paint here. I'm just looking at Peter Griffin, and I'm absolutely. As we see, 42 and Scorpion are the two to beat again at the front of this pack. Nami not really having the best introduction into ITC 8 as they did in 7 here, Gex. They were top 4, I think, coming out of the seeding last year. So not the best here showing.
Still 42 pushing through right now. I feel like Scorpid really, the efforts here we know can bring him a first out, but it's stuff like that. That error there, huge knockout from first there will mean that Scorpid can count himself out of not only first place, but can push himself well back into the pack, which is lethal. I mean, the top 2 will always make it through these packs, and Scorpid actually has the ability to knock himself out of that, where nobody would be able to take it from him had he just cut a little bit safer of a line.
And hopefully for everyone that doesn't understand how these cup rounds work, we do go to 100 points is the cap, and I'm pretty sure you have to win a round after getting 100 points to be able to finish, to be a finalist.
Yeah.
And then you move on to the next round. So really getting points in this first map are very, very important if you have a struggle city on a later map on in this map pack, as Neo is quite not really going to have the run they want right now, but they are against 3 of, in my opinion, the top 10 players in the series.
Yeah. This is going to be about the worst case scenario for you possible if you're Neo Cypher. I think the best you can do out of this is just try and keep up with these massive pace setters of players in the lobby with you and learn as much as you can out of this, because in the end, when it's done and dusted, Trackmania is not ending here. ITC number 8 will not be the end of a journey for a competitive player either, and you can learn so much from players like this. Take it out to other tournaments, take it into the rest of the world, even if you can learn enough out here. But Neo Cypher is definitely in kind of a learning position here. I really can't see that there's being anything better than that for him. It's tough.
It's just been, in my opinion, the toughest round of this bracket. Like, you're going, I said, the 3 of the top 10.
This is the round of death.
This is the round of death. You can't do anything here. It's Group A from FIFA, pretty much. Like, there's nothing you can do. As we need Nami. Nami needs a bit of points here going out of this map, Gex. They haven't had a second place, I think, at all, other than that one snipe they got. So really hunting for a second here, but 42 has absolutely been consistent and is showing again in this round, going into this right-hand corner in front of the first 2, as Nami's got to try hunt down Scorpion. But Scorpion had so much pace going into that.
Nami's keeping up here as well, but a little bit of an action there. It's all up to that front 2. 42 has the line, though, and cuts through on Scorpion to even gain some at the end there. Not quite as close as it was looking to be, but Scorpion struggling to keep up with 42's consistency.
We're doing 54 zeros as well. A top 8 world time, again, both of them. So the times you have to drive in these maps and rounds are pretty much top 10 world consistently if you want to get to first or second. So being there, like coming into a tournament with not as much experience as these other 3 players you're going against, it's going to be very tough to drive consistently world record pace times and splits, especially on a track like Flojo, which in my opinion is the hardest track in the map pack. In my opinion, this track is very hard.
It's incredibly tough here. The hump tracks always get me. I don't know what it is about it, but that will always be my personal downfall. So I'm on board for that. But I feel like there is more consistency here than, say, possibly we see in aerials for the likes of 42 and Scorpid at the very least. And that really is where the question lies here. As much as Nami is in that top area, and certainly without this group of death, I would be talking about Nami as being one of those top two out of any other group, I think. But right now, it is all to do with 42 and Scorpid. And like you said, the toughness in this, it's relevant, but it has to create errors between two of the best players in this competition.
Yeah, and that's a thing that is very rare to see from these top two players. Like, mistakes are rare to come by, especially with the maps. The map pack doesn't change between the 2 days, so they have grinded, I think, this map pack out for a week or two now, or the last month, and so they've learned the lines, they've learned every. That right hand on that side is a very speed gap. If you don't get your speed, you're not making the jump across. As we head into this plastic into the left corner, which you need to get a little drift and to get the line. If you go a bit wide, you can clip the wall as Nami takes a risky line. Worked out if they take into the front here.
Nami actually shooting to a decent lead now. He's going to just save a lot there. Oh, I think might have made a tap on that corner. Loses all the speed needed to hold first position there. Actually was looking to not be a particularly bad finish, but throws it off at the end. Goes to the back of the pack. Scorpid takes first and makes this a bit more of a competition once again with 42. But Nami should have been setting himself up to compete for that second spot there. That is brutal.
I don't think Nami realised the lead they had. They were up by nearly attempts going into the ice and then risked it a bit going on the right side and clipped, I think, the connection point off the floor. And it cost them
ironically,
just, like,
that's the exact same mistake that Scorpid made during the early rounds. That exact touch kept them back. Neo Cypher, an early mistake there is going to send them right to the back of the track here, and it is going to be Nami actually leading, possibly going to get the second chance at that.
42 goes a bit wide again as Nami has that. It seems to be the most fastest through that section of the plastic. As we're going to head into this tight right corner into the ice section. Scorpo has a bit of a lag there, but Nami is going to try and hunt it down. Scorpion goes a bit tight. Nami gets it.
Nami gets first place there.
Drops back to third. Scorpion dropped the third.
Yeah. That is a wild ice section, proving why you hate this track.
Thank you. You turn too sharp, you lose about crazy. 2 taps.
Yeah, it really does come down to expertise on ice, like I was talking about. Yeah. It's not a skill set to be ignored, but when you put that onto the tip end of a track, you have to nail it. That is so crucial.
And that's what Sid Sensei did with the building of this map. Put it at the end so the ice players really can show their strong point on the last crucial point. But once again, I think 42 and Nami have both been caught out by this ice now, and Scorpid, I think, just got caught out in that last round. But again, 42, Scorpid, and Nami with the that risky line has paid off so much again. Has gained at least 2 taps onto Scorpid.
He intentionally lips himself up over the edge, right close to that wall, risking the right wheel touch. Oh, gets some speed through as well. Oh, dropped a tiny bit of it and goes to third. I thought Nami had sniped second from 42. He was even gaining on Scorpid there, but he let up on the accelerator. Oh, that's brutal.
That's an
throttle down, buddy.
50.2 as well. It's a quick time. I'm pretty sure that's a PB for Scorpid, if I'm not mistaken, and that is a 11th in the world time. As we're going to head in, I think, into the last round of this map. Can Neo get some points here? They're doing pretty good here, Gex. They did get I think 2 to 3 third places here, but like I said, the consistency is tough as 42 makes a major mistake now. This is big points opportunity for Nami.
Nami going to be heading out ahead here, right into the part of the track they do best. Can they nail it again through this plastic as they head into it now? has to get that right-hand turn. It's neck and neck, gets it up high onto the grass again, does have the lead. This is the make and break moment for Nami. Has had this opportunity multiple times, but Scorpion shoots through so much speed into the ice, goes high, a consistent and holdable line right to the end, and Scorpion will take it. Nami, though, great push right at the last second, but the exciting point here, Scorpion will actually snipe points from 42 and might actually be in the lead after that, I think.
It's just Scorpion does move into the lead here, I think, by 4 points, and they do. 4 points ahead of 42. Nami is in the drop zone. I'm pretty sure the bottom two go into the lower bracket of the rounds here, and that's not where you want to be as a top player in my opinion, a top 10 player. It's not where you want to be in the lower bracket, because that really makes your life 10 times harder to get through these. As we're going to head on to relevations here, Gex, which is, in my opinion, a beautiful.
Yeah, I do agree. It's one of my favorite design maps, but I do think again that plastic it offers so many chances for inconsistency. It offers the opportunity to see those mistakes come out, and Neo Cypher unfortunately is going to be the sufferer of most of those errors if they appear. I think again, just in that impossible position in such an unbelievably tough bracket, but Nami is going to have to show that they can hold off of mistakes. It showed in that last map that they could actually take the risky line and hold off of mistakes multiple times, and then actually made mistakes in other areas and dropped less time given than they might have with a more crucial mistake, but couldn't take first positions because of it. So I want to see Nami come through here, making the risky lines and making them work again. I think that's probably the best opportunity and possibly the only chance left for Nami to make a second place out of this.
And although this track isn't one of Nami's strong points, there's 2 mistakes. As you see, Neo Cypher made a mistake. Is going to be up to 42 and Scorpion here, but Scorpion has absolutely nailed this first section and is easily nearly 3 tenths ahead going into the first plastic section. This dirt is pretty simple, but also pretty easy to get tripped up on. If you go a little bit too wide, you can clip that back wheel and force yourself to get a slowdown. As we head into the bobsled area, into this NASCAR, if you turn too early here, you might end up with slippery tires and drift.
Oh, 42 might have had it. Lips the corner with that inside wheel, and Scorpion shoots ahead again.
That's not what you wanted in that section. Scorpion is absolutely on a heater here. Big mistake.
He's crashed into the... No, that's going to be a full reset on... Where's Nami? Nami's surely up. Yep, he's going to finish second there. 42 sacrifices so much on a nightmarish incident. That's crazy.
Nami, that's a weird spot to crash as well. I think it was just a concentration loss there. Like, to hit the checkpoint, to be stuck underneath the checkpoint, that is pure pain. But it does happen to the best of us sometimes. But that really brought Nami into this fight. 42 now in grab. It's only 11 points away for Nami to get into the second place, to hold their position in the upper brackets. As we head into this dirt section again, as Nami's got a beautiful run, but does clip. I gotta stop cursing.
Oh. Brutalizing Nami right now, but 42 is the beneficiary. Really did have the opportunity to lose that front spot, but now pack leader again out ahead, gonna clip inner corners here. Very, very narrow margins, getting the lines tight. Very clean back half of this as well, and it looks to be just a very, very consistent and clean run from 42 there, 55.432.
55.4, that is pretty solid. That is just off top 10 world times again. So the pace is still showing even on a difficult map here. So I don't get it. I just don't get how people can be so consistent every round at these times. It's ridiculous. But again, that's not really the round Nami needed. It's 42. It now goes 15 points ahead, if I'm not mistaken. And it's really going to make it tough here for Nami, and we're running out of rounds for Nami to do it.
Yeah.
Scorpion's only 4 points. On match point.
Yeah, only 4 points down to 42, though. Still an effort to be made for a top spot here as well. Not that it matters. I mean, like, you've just got to get that top 2, but obviously for expectations here, who are pushing through into forward positions, you would be hoping for that next spot up. Scorpid now out ahead, though, to solidify that lead again and really put himself very, very close to winning this thing now.
Nami was pushing a lot behind and did hit the checkpoint a little bit, which did ruin the chance of a catch-up. And 42 Scorpid taking up number 1 and 2 again, as Scorpid is trying to make a little bit of a break from it from 42 to get to the 100-point mark to get onto finalist point. Remember, you need to get to 100 points here to even get out and win the round to be able to move on. And I don't know if they'll be able to do it on this map, if they'll be able to get out of the round out of this map, or will it be the next map? And I don't know. I don't know how many we got left here. I think it's one more. Was that a mistake for 42? It was.
It was, yep. Scorpid, what's the maximum points we can gain out of a single round here? Because I don't think you can
16.
make... Oh, it could be the 100. It is possible here for Scorpid. But Nami out ahead could take that from them. And is holding. And go very high up over that section. And actually a really good lead here. Just has to safe things up. Scorpid, no chance to really push this back in. Nami can sacrifice a bit of line here to play safe and really still be comfortable, and will do so here, sacrificing a little bit of time in that back end, but really still quite some margin back to Scorpid.
55-3 is a decent time as well. That's bad. 6/10 from Scorpid, and big points that Nami needed headed into the round. Now it's still in reach for Nami. Like, they're not out of it.
What was that
really.
last?
It's still only 11 points.
What was that last time? 55-3 what?
55-3
I think
7.
Yeah, we're actually that would be 10th time in the world.
10th.
Out of that,
Wow.
So made it into the top 10 there, and would be a PB for Nami, I believe. No, sorry, what am I talking about? Nami actually there in 4th for the top 10. So fairly far off best time for consistency, Nami, but I feel like Nami started to realize at the end there that there were more consistent lines to be taking that still held similar pace to the rest of the pack, and that was really what was required.
As we head into aerial here, Scorpid does have the fastest time out of the 4 here, and only just by a little bit on Nami, but this is where I think 42 had a lot of mistakes in the seeding brackets. They were I think 50 points ahead of Spark going into this map, and Spark ended up over 100 points ahead of them coming out of it. So hopefully 42 can work on what the mistakes they were having on this map and bring it back into where it matters in these upper bracket rounds. But like I said, my hardest point on this track is the ending. The risky finish is a very big risk.
Yeah, isn't it just? And we did see some of the best races on track during qualifiers have to take the low road there and sacrifice quite a lot of time through the grass. But right out the gates, you see the low line taken by 42 and Scorpid, and getting a little bit of a lead out ahead right off the bat. This transition here, though, really one of the most important moments in the track, and it is a low transition by Nami. He makes a lot of pace here and gets right back up into the pack. That top 3 is so well contested that Scorpid gets sent to the bin.
As Nami has absolutely nailed that later section.
It's high though.
Had to realise too late that it could not go right. Had to jump left, and that going to give 42 a bit of time to work with here going into this final jump section. They both look clean, and it's going to be 42 taking the first round here. Big points there.
That does mean Scorpid does not finish the 100 points here. Doesn't go out first. And is now risking actually giving that spot up once more. There is a chance here to get out ahead for 42. And Nami, 75 points behind. I don't think it's possible anymore. I think regardless of positions here, you will make enough points to finish this off. Nami might just be counted out at this point.
It's another decent jump from Nami. Did do a little bit of a let go to get the lower pace again. It's worked in their favor. They're ahead of Scorp going into this uphill grass section with the booster. Scorp has had a major mistake behind. Nami has disappeared.
Nami is well ahead. This is a huge round from Nami. 42 dead last would be good if it weren't for the fact that Scorp is still up. I mean, this is still the best opportunity for Nami. Nami is not in the race for first place right now. Nami is wanting second out of this and might just get it if we can see Neo Cypher come through, but it's the error at the end there that will allow 42 back into third place. And that is going to be 4 points for 42, back to 94 points as Scorpion takes his 6. And that's it. There is the finalist position for Scorpion. We'll need one more finish here to come out on top.
So finalist is on, chat. So Scorpion may be on match point. They need to. They are on match point. They need to win this round to move out of bracket. Can they do it here? It's 42 they need to get ahead of, which is probably the person you don't want ahead of you. And as the Peter Griffin makes their way through the plastic section, heading up to this grass with the Rector booster.
Whoa, 42!
Big mistake.
Oh my goodness!
Scorpion's got a lead on. Scorpion the finalist. 0.5 ahead of Neo Cypher. This is what Scorpion needs going into this last section, Gex.
Yeah, he goes a little high there, but I think he's just playing safe from here on out. He might know he's got a decent lead on, realistically, the only person who could take this spot from him. There he goes, straight into first place out of this. It does not finish the round, though. And 42 goes back to third. Nami has taken second, which means Piwo still isn't in finalist position. He's only at 98 points.
No.
Nami can do this.
Nami can actually make the comeback.
Oh my goodness, is 9 points away.
Whoever wins this round out of Nami and 42 goes on to, and I think both of them, no matter what, will go on to finalists if Nami wins this. 42 needs to win this round to shut Nami down. 42 needs this round. This is the biggest round of 42's career. Go on. Nami has the lead they need.
Still tough. Nami has to win 2 back-to-back here regardless. Has to be wins, nothing else. Nami has been holding so well against 42 on this map, though, and it might just be enough. Nami's out ahead, goes wide there for ultimate speed into this corner, gets the right-hand turn, gets it lower than 42 as well. Nami's out ahead.
0.26 going into the plastic section. They both take the inside line. This grass uphill is make or break. Nami seems to be sweet.
Goodness.
They make the jump. Nami. They're both going to be on finalists. They're both on finalists. Oh no.
Nami can make it out of this bracket in the top 2.
They're both on finalists. Goodness. This is going to be a battle for the ages of double finalists. One can make it, one can't.
Nami, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy, but Nami has thrown this out the window. There was a good margin for error here, and it has been used up. There is no more errors available. 42 needs a win here to hold Nami off in the long run. Nami has already made the comeback, but it is neck and neck.
It comes down to a new map as well. We're back on Vultrix, which I think is 42's map here compared. I think 42 has the time. 42 has the world record. This is the map 42 could have dreamed about in this moment. But Nami, again, still in the top 10 here. You can't count him out on this track. But it's all going to come down to this first round. If Neo wins this, I will buy him. I'm going to buy him a Zinger box.
It comes down to the fact that consistency is hardest when you've got pressure on you. 42 has never faced this pressure on this map before. Nami's max pace matters for naught if 42 makes a mistake. 42 has to have consistency through here. He has made mistakes every round for the last 4 rounds.
No, trust me. I got a feeling Neo's winning every out and taking. I can see it happening. Trust me. Neo's just got to turn on the afterburners. it's on. It's on.
Neo's extra. He's gonna win every round from here on.
But here we go, Gex. It's up to 42 and Nami, both finalists. One, I think, gets knocked down to loser bracket. One continues on in the upper bracket. And it looks like 42... Oh, no, there is no advantage. It's side by side. It's side by side.
42 made an early error there. That's a tight line from... Does hold it well. This is another one through there, that black post.
Oh, no,
42's made the error. He's absolutely counted himself out. He needs Nami to bin it here for a chance. Nami might have just sniped the whole position here and gone into the upper bracket. I think he's done it. There it is. Nami holds out, finalist and second place out of our first round here. What did we just watch? Crazy stuff.
What a comeback for Nami. Bringing it, I think it was a 20-point deficit from 42 at one point. Comes back, gets finalists at the same time as 42. And ends up winning the first round on 42's map that he has world record on. That is a comeback and a story. Congratulations, Nami. GG's in the stream. But also, 42, you came up in a tough bracket. Same as Neo. You got to give a GG's to Neo for putting it up against 3 of the top 10, in my opinion, of the tournament. Very, very tough bracket there. But what a round. What a round we just had, Gex.
Yeah, it's hard to say that we didn't just watch some of the best of this right in front of us there. What a competition, and gotta shout out our fourth place there as well, Neo. Congratulations on getting to witness that. Can't really say much more than that, but it was something to behold. What a race out from our first bracket. Really keen to see if that is how we're starting this in the group stages. It only goes up from here.
Yeah, a double finalist in a group stage is a worry. Like, that's usually a final thing. Like, you never really see two people on finalists fighting for the last position to move on. But again, it came down just to the consistency at the end of the day. And 42 had that little inner clip, and sadly, that was all she wrote. Nami just kept it clean till the end and takes the win and moves on with Scorpo. So we got to give another shout out to Scorpo, taking a pretty dominant victory there at the end in the last two maps that they were competing on. I got to give it to Scorpo. Very well done there. Very one to watch out for in the future tournament here.
We do have results from other matches as well. Not all of them went quite that long, and you will see some more names coming through there. Exactly what you would expect out of most of this, except that 42. That is probably the biggest shock here.
Yeah, definitely. But also, you gotta understand, 42, Nami, and Scorp are all in the same team. They're all in PWO. They're all part of the same team. So they're very close group of mates. So that's probably a bit of banter for them to have in that battle, to see them end up in the same bracket. Like, that's a big change. But is that Spark that took first place in his bracket?
Yeah, but it's what I want us to focus on there is DB coming up over Sid Sensei. That's a big win there. I mean, definitely can see the competition between those two, but that would have been a great watch there as well. But pretty clear winners out from our other rounds there. Iridium and Divyansh and the Curiosity and Prawn will you can choose what you want to put in there. The 4 is meaningless. Choose a vowel, put it in, and go for your life.
Wait, Divyansh beat Iridium. Am I saying this correctly?
Yeah, did go out in first place there over Iridium.
Divyansh beat Iridium? Is this correct?
Yeah, does look like it.
Also, double finalists in the 2 of the first rounds is insane. That this tournament is about as close. It's going to be closer than last year. It's anyone's game here, anyone's tournament. But if Divi is the one to beat, I guess.
Yeah, apparently. I mean, he had great rounds through qualifiers. It's not shocking to me that was an outcome that could be there. Would I have picked it? Maybe not. He was probably the underdog for second place there, but for first place there. But certainly the two that deserve to come out on top of that. We've got our upper brackets set. So we will be moving forward with the brackets, of course, and we will start to see some of those players knocked out of competition entirely in the future. So stick with us. We will be back after a quick break with more rounds for the Indian Trackmania Cup number 8. Welcome back. It's cold in Australia, but it is warm in Trackmania. got my tea ready to continue because I think I'm getting through this one without a sore throat. The amount of yelling we did in that last one. Lumids, the brackets have been thrown into turmoil by Scorpid's internet, I think. And that last round was insane. We're going into another one that is just ridiculous.
Yeah, well, if you thought the first round we just did off this upper bracket, lower bracket rounds was a tough battle, well, you should see the round we're about to watch. We have got Spark, Curiosity, Nami, and Iridium all in the one matchup at the moment, which easily two of the top three players in the scene and another two players that are top five at the moment in the region. So this is a final before the final. So it's anyone's game here. It really is anyone's game with this first map here and Revelations.
I mean, the only answer to that might be in the form of Spark, who came out with over 1,000 points fairly well in the qualifier. Spark was where he didn't need to be, setting near record times, and now we get to see him up against, like you said, probably the only people who can put an answer to that. And we already see in the warm-up, everybody's straining themselves, trying to push themselves to that limit early and get their expectations set as to where they can go with consistency.
And everyone's just trying to find their rhythm, trying to find their lines, which ones are working at the moment. Because this track, like we've seen before, has so many alternate lines you can take that are similar pace to each other, but it also could work in your favor if you think you can get a better exit out of that one alternate line. Like Exhibit A, like that big right corner coming from the grass into the last corner. You can take the inside leading onto the outside, or you can take the outside cutting into the inside, and they're both very similar pace, but they can both lead to different mistakes, and that making that split decision can really cost you here.
Yeah, I think it comes down to what you get the muscle memory for as well. As long as they're similar, realistically here, outright pace is not necessarily what you need. You need to be top two here, and consistency will get you that, regardless of if you drop a couple of hundredths here or there, which is realistically all that is in that choice. So get one of those lines locked in, do it well, and do it consistently. Iridium right now showing that out ahead, chased up by the Curiosity.
And we've had a couple of mistakes from Nami and Spark as well. They've dropped a couple temps compared to the two ahead, but Iridium's absolutely on a flyer here, taking the lead they need to do. And I think that's a PB already for Iridium in this lobby. So great start already.
First round PB, that's what you want to see. And Spark really just making those errors to set in stone that he writes the script for these events. So, you know, he's going to push himself all the way to the back and then fly past everybody then to give the exciting finish. All right. Okay. We'll take that now from Nami, actually. The mistake made very dramatically, very early.
Had a bit of a jump to the left and didn't really land into the half pipe where you needed to be, and flipped the wall and just had a little bit of a flip, had to respawn, and that's a 4-second loss on a big map where mistakes do matter. But these top three are about side by side as you can get going into the NASCAR section. Spark, and I'm pretty sure this is Iridium with him up the front, are still side by side going into this uphill right, hitting into the left plastic turn. Iridium's got a bit of a gap, but watch Spark catch back up with the alternate line, and they both pick different lines again through this section. Does Spark have the pace? He does. What a round. Side by side through the whole track to the very end. Iridium and Spark, top two right now.
And I mean, realistically, not that far behind, particularly when you look at the paces that were just set from the Curiosity there. That third was, I don't know, it's very tough to say that Curiosity is running anything poor, but there's just that little bit of a gap there that you can see that not only can those top times be hit, but with consistency from both Spark and Iridium. And I think that sets the two of them apart from the rest of this pack for me.
Yeah, it definitely does. I feel like their consistency and like their line choices are always the go-to. Like every time they're a little bit awkward going into a corner, they're not afraid to take that alternate line choice to make it work out. As we do have a little bit of a tech pause here. I'm unsure what it is about, but it doesn't worry me. We do need to catch our breath after that last matchup we had where Nami, I think, sniped off 42, which was insane again. That double finalist, 2 rounds. There was 2 rounds in the upper brackets that had a double finalist already. Are we going to see maybe a double finalist here again in this round? Or is Spark really going to turn on the afterburners and come back from third here?
Oh, I wonder if that's why we were able to see DB come out ahead in one of those earlier rounds there as well, being that Revelations was made by DB here as well. Wondering what this pause is going to end up being about, but it's extra practice for the others on track while Spark takes a seat here with Iridium for a moment. The Curiosity and Nami just getting in a few extra laps.
It's practicing a couple of hot laps here. Just testing out the lines. You see your Curiosity to take a big dive on the inside. But we are going to head back into the rounds. It is Iridium in the lead at the moment, 10-6. 4 Spark, 3 Nami. Nami, I think, is a little bit of the underdog coming into this. But as we've seen before, can perform when needed.
Nami was the underdog then too. He shouldn't have. He came from third dramatically to take that from 42 in the last round. He might have to do it again here though. I mean, he is sitting in last place right now. Spark, ironically, is second last though. So the points apparently are meaningless right now.
Oh, big mistake from Iridium though, and that's going to be a big mistake for the Curiosity as well. It's going to be Spark and Nami in the battle. And it looks like Spark's got the upper advantage going into this big left plastic turn. Don't want to take it too wide and clip the outside of that checkpoint like we've seen multiple do before. But Spark has nailed the ending there, and it's going to be another W for Spark, and that should push him up, I'm pretty sure, into the lead now with that mistake from Iridium.
I could be wrong, but I think it might have actually been Spark I was watching that really did push it wide into the edge of that checkpoint and need a full reset toward the end of the qualifiers as well. So it is a dangerous error to make. If you do make that mistake, it is all the positions, not just some time.
Gonna head down to this grass section again. This right corner in this sausage, you might lose a bit wide, but it does work out as a big mistake for the Curiosity. He's clipped the checkpoint. It's going to be Iridium and Spark at the lead at the moment. You don't want to go too wide on that exit off the dirt because it does capitalize you onto that left corner. It does leave you open to hit that black box. And this is going to be the NASCAR turn into this top right left. And this grass section, you want to give it a bit wide so you can automatically drift into this corner. Early drift here so you keep this pace going into this plastic section, but Iridium's way ahead here, Gex.
He is indeed, and he's holding super wide line there. Maximum speed through these sections. He does not care if he's got first. He wants an absolute flyer of a time. 55.135 is going to be quick.
Very nice time there, but they're only doing 7th fastest times here. We've seen faster in the season.
Only
rounds,
7th in the world.
I think only 7th. Like one, no disrespect.
Continuously. Continuously doing 7th in the world. That's not good enough, really.
They're not pushing as hard as they were in the seeding because they know the little mistakes here, every point matters. They can't have one round of mistakes where they get 3 points, because if you win, 10 points is a lot more than 6. That's 4.
Yeah.
Like it's a big gap when it all adds up at the end of the day. So each round matters here, and that one little mistake can lead into a mental toll, and it can just affect you in the upcoming rounds.
Yeah, that's what I meant though. Like, he knew that he had the pace. He was well out ahead, and yet he, right through those last sections, I feel like he was still sending it into the widest angles to get the most pace out of these turns. Spark doing it again here this time.
See?
Curiosity's right on him though. Might get it. He does. 0.093 between the Curiosity and Spark, but he does snipe it.
Big snipe there for Curiosity. He needed those points. That puts him right in range of Iridium and Spark. 23, 26, 26 headed into map 2 here of this upper bracket round. Remember, if you do lose this matchup, you do get pushed into the lower bracket. And I think if you lose the lower bracket, you are out of the entire tournament. And that's sadly where 42 has been put in that position from Nami. And if you lose this 2 here, which is, in my opinion, the bracket of, like we said before, death. Like, This is a grand final in itself at this point in time.
Yeah, I remember. It's certainly not over for anybody in this group, though. I mean, Nami at the bottom there from 17. I feel like this is a fairly similar gap to what he was looking at last round, and still managed to make it up there into second place. So I can't count anybody out at this point. Spark, though, did just come from second last there with 3 points back to even with Iridium for first. So Spark just shows that when it's needed, can just pull out whatever it is. Yeah, it is needed.
Yeah,
very tough
Spark
to overcome.
Lose to Divinash in the last round? Didn't Spark get second in that bracket? If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure Divinash came out with 105, and Spark had 104. But nonetheless,
No, Spark came out on top of his round, 102 to DB in 101.
Okay, that makes sense then. It's my eyes playing tricks on me. Don't mind me.
It was who was the round you were looking at? Deviant over Iridium was the
yeah, Deviant Iridium. That probably is why Iridium's in this bracket with Spark.
Right.
The Divi. So Curiosity is on actually an amazing run here. It's a bit of a mistake from Iridium. It's going to give a bit of space to Spark and Curiosity. But like we've seen before, this half pipe, if you can get it low, it really does matter, and it gives you 10.
Oh, did Nami get it? Oh, rolls off the edge.
Why?
That's massive speed loss. He did get the checkpoint, but it might be just as bad as if he hadn't, and can't make the gap on that pace either. That's brutal. That's Nami gone.
Iridium had a mistake at the end. He had second secured, and Curiosity just kept it clean, and Iridium clipped the inside, and that's a big mistake from Nami. He's going to have to take the safe finish as well, just to get the points solidified. Oh, he doesn't get the points. The DNF, that's huge. That's big.
Yeah.
That's 0.
As much as that last round we spectated was an intense round, we picked the right one for content. This is just that tiny step up again, and I feel like it's pushing Nami to a limit here. And Nami is at that breaking point. He is trying to get out paces that might just be a tiny bit beyond him right this second.
The pace of Spark and Iridium you're going to try to keep up to. They're always pushing you to your limit. Like, they're not really making a mistake at the moment, as you can see. They are easily 2 tenths ahead of Nami going into this half pipe, but I think that is a beautiful wall from Nami, which does lead into second place, but Spark with a decent lead going into this plastic jump into the sword section. Nami with the wall, another mistake. I don't think they have enough speed to make it. They have to go to safe one.
Yep. Nami doesn't have the pace to make the jump whatsoever. It's another brutal finish there, but Iridium actually making some big errors as well, and comes in behind. 50.4 as well, by the way, is a top 4 world time that we're doing. This is ridiculous pace at the moment. So they are very much pushing each other's limits here and forcing mistakes out of each other. Like, we and Gex have both played these tracks, and they're hard just to even complete a singular lap. So doing world record pace times consistently back to back to back is just absolutely mind-boggling. As there's a little mistake from Nami in that quarter pipe, which has dropped him down to 5 temps. This is going to be a hard one to come back. And Curiosity, another error.
Drops
bounces
out
off that right side. That's completely gone. Iridium is leading right now, but that could be changed. Very much a tight competition here. Spark gets the turn right on that checkpoint, though. Shoots out into a lead. Iridium still hot on the trail, but there might be enough of a gap here to hold it. Spark looking good for the finish, and Nami not making the errors this time, but still relegated to third.
Yeah, I think this is the track Spark really drew away in the seeding. It was the last track. They pulled 100 points on 42, which is ridiculous. So Spark looking clean, nearly 20 points ahead now. It's going to be tough to reel in there when the maximum points you can get is 10. So if I was Iridium or Curiosity here, I'd be going for wins only. But coming against Spark, and as you see again, it's just ahead. How do you compete?
Yeah. I know what you mean. I mean, Spark just the pace that capable under Spark means that even if Spark's making errors, you don't know what's coming up behind you. You don't know what pace Spark is putting on here. I mean, you're not looking at each other while you're doing this racing. You have to expect that Spark has the opportunity, and that pushes you to your limit all the time. You're going to make more mistakes because you're trying to compete with the times that Spark is capable of, not necessarily the times that Spark will get.
I hate to be the one to say it, but we may have just cast a curse Spark into last place. And we have. Yeah, it's happened again. I don't want to call it out every time, but it's becoming ridiculous at this point in time. It's every time. But that doesn't affect Spark. Spark has a big enough lead that there's still a whole win ahead moving into this next map, but they only are really 4 wins away from being finalists at the end of the day. And if you can get the finalists before anyone else by at least 5 points, you have a very, very good chance of making it out of this round without them even being near finalists. But we are heading into Whitehorn, which, once again, very difficult track. These state sections do matter a lot, same as the sausage turns. The sausage turns are very important to master.
The sausage turns. I hate the sausages. That hump in the track is always just a thorn in my side. I can't mentally deal with it. I can't physically deal with it. That's for sure. The regular seasons that have featured that heavily have been the ones where I'm like, you know what? It's fine. I just don't need to place well this season. I've accepted my place in the universe.
Yeah. More so on this track, I feel like that uphill into the grass section, like after the reactor boost, is the most painful section on the track. You just lose so much time if you just take it a little bit wide. And this last section as well, we've seen multiple times where people have clipped the outer dirt wall because you need to go full tilt to be able to jump over the engine off block, which at the end of the day, if you miss that engine off block, it can save you nearly a second on your time.
Yeah, it's huge. And we saw some of the best times on this track beaten by the engine off skip. Yeah. It is really that advantage. And while we were in qualifying and you really only needed to be, in a decent position in that pack, it was viable to just take that safer route. But when you're up against a pack that just means death like this, when you're up against an unofficial grand finals kind of state of pack, then you're going to have to take every advantage on time you can. I don't expect anybody to be intentionally leaving the engine off skip on the cutting room floor.
A beautiful run here for Nami. This is exactly what they need to get themselves back into this lobby. They do make it over the engine off. Nami and Curiosity make it, but Spark and Iridium touch it. They both lose over a second on the two at the front. It matters that much. Nearly over a second. They lose.
Iridium was actually making time on the front two there as well. Like it wasn't just a loss; it was a huge loss of pace there. They were making up time and lost that completely to the back of pack.
Yeah, this is, like we said before at the start of this is the most stacked matchup and round you can possibly get this early on. It's a grand final in a grand final, as Curiosity's got a bit of a lead going up into this grass hill. But Spark and Iridium, the two speed demons themselves, are on the hunt here. They're going to look to take it an inside line here. They are risking for the biscuit. Every point matters as Spark and Iridium are trying to push for finalists. Curiosity's holding them very tight going into this right section.
Curiosity is actually holding his lead. Oh my goodness, using every millimeter of track. Going to the outside, does he find the wall? No, he's held it. He's got the engine off skip. He's going through to first. What a run from Curiosity. 54 flat there. That is an awesome run.
Iridium's had 2 major mistakes now back to back on this track. They've missed the engine off again, but also clipped the dirt wall coming into the last corner, which is just cost them hugely. And that's another podium loss there, another second place for Iridium, as points are really starting to get away from them, and that's bringing Curiosity into a bit of a lead away from them. And Nami's starting to catch back up to the pack, only being 10 away. So it's still anyone's game here in this matchup. No one's anywhere near finalists. We're going to have to go into another 2 matches.
that last time that 54 flat was 8th in the world as well, and we've seen higher times than that, but this particular track, the difference between a perfection run, getting a PB time, and getting something that is reasonable to pull out in a competition status, you can't hit those perfect lines. They are too close to error, and I feel like that's about the highest speed we're going to see, really. I don't think much is going to beat it. A 54 flat again. Spark can equal it for sure. I think it's a little faster, but pretty much that same position. That is so quick for a competitive time.
I hate to say it again, but Iridium in another 4th place on this map. They don't like Whitehorn, Gex. They do not like this track at all. It's really costed them here. They went from 2nd, now down to 3rd, in range of Nami. Nami can catch back up the 3rd with one singular win and is still in range of Curiosity. But Spark is starting to make a break for it. Nearly 20 points again of the lead, and his Iridium is taking the lead up to this grass section. It's got to be on Curiosity and Spark to chase, and they've done that already. Curiosity with a mistake. It's dropped back down. It's up to Iridium and Spark only here, Gex.
Iridium did drop that 1st place. Just a lot of speed can be sacrificed on that uphill. The grass can slaughter a good run, but it has been caught up to again. Iridium can take it back, relying on a mistake from Spark now, though. Does Spark contact outside edge? No, neither do. They both make the run cleanly. Iridium will make a 2nd place. I feel like as much as Iridium has definitely dropped off a little on this track, it's runs like that that solidified that he will make it through this without anybody reaching that finalist position on Whitehorn, and that means that he gets the chance to just shoot back ahead of Curiosity again once he gets a preferential track. And that's what I was talking about earlier. Some players have made themselves intentionally preferential on some tracks, and if you can make it through to those and then have that kind of almost strategic advantage on certain tracks, you can make up massive points when you get to them.
100%, and as we see, we're back onto Voltrix here, which we've seen in the past, where I feel like Iridium has been the better player here on this track. But again, we've said it before, if you can't, there's a nose slide on this started dirt that if you get the nose slide, you can gain nearly a second. If you don't get it, it can cost you nearly a second. Like, it's about a 0.5 loss, pretty much average in the nose slide, but it is very hard to get consistently. And also in the other dirt section, dropping the 4th gear is detrimental to your speed going up that hill into the left.
It is going to just be, it needs perfection here. I mean, especially if anybody wants to really stand up to Spark. I don't expect them to take 1st place finalist position from Spark here. However, you need to be ramping up to be able to take him on in the real finals. It is likely that Spark will reach that position. He is a champion of this tournament multiple times over. Spark is somebody that should be in your sights, and if you can't begin to kind of dial in on that now, then your chances later on seriously diminished.
Yeah, and you can't really let Spark really, the Spark's pace now is already insane. So only imagine it when he still gets another day of grinding in the tomorrow's event. Like, you can't really let him get that gap ahead of you. I get what you're saying, Gex. You can't let him get the head of you now, because he's only going to push it even further in the future. But as we see, we're coming out of this dirt section here. You can full speed out of there, but it is dangerous. But it's going to be Spark again. Just looking so consistent here. 45.
I gotta say, Iridium wasn't really risking anything there, and within 0.114. It is a very close margin there. I do like the run. I think Iridium has it in here to come up against Spark directly, but it's not a win, and that is a crucial thing to be taking forward into further rounds of this competition. Is wins against Spark, wins against the current title holder of the ITC.
But no matter what at the moment, if Spark just finishes this run here, they're on finalists. They have the chance to move on to the next round and sit out and just spectate with us for the rest of this round. But it looks like Spark just wants to continue on with domination pace and just smacks their way through this dirt, keeps that fourth gear, which I said is very important to keep your pace going up. It's going to do a little drift because they want the inside line instead of the outside line, going into that uphill. Curiosity has sniped from the heavens, from nowhere. And Nami, what a round. Look at a round. Less than a 10th. Between
how do you take that? That is crazy. Voltrix, what are the times on that? 46 flat there. Feels very, very quick there as well.
That's top
it
7.
It is indeed. You're looking very, very quick on that. I believe that would be 9th exactly here on Voltrix.
Sparks, on finalist, has made the first mistake they've made. Is now in 4th on finalist. So the chance is not going to happen here. It's going to be up to Iridium to possibly potentially put themselves in a chance to get finalist. But if Curiosity can somehow claw a win in here, they're only one more win away from being on finalists as well. But Nami is looking to upset everyone again, as the 3rd gear has been dropped down for 2 people. But Iridium is looking ahead here. Is going to take a clean win in this round, and that's a 46 flat again, Gex. Solid times coming out from Iridium and Spark.
Iridium needs it to. Curiosity still ahead here, that 85 points there. Now, it is within catching distance, 2 points away for Iridium. One more win here would have him out ahead, in fact, and Iridium needs it now. Like we discussed coming into this, Voltrix is the better map for him. Realistically, he did drop some points and a decent chance towards that second finalist position out of the last map, and is picking it up here, so will have to be out ahead again. Is looking good for it. Might even have Spark here again, who is still
Spark's
looking
on
to place.
Spark is looking very solid here. He's got the lines they were doing before. He's got this section again. Doesn't lift the wheel. Keeps the 4th gear. This might be Spark. Spark moving on to the next round. He gets the little drift. It might be too far away. There's no way to catch him. Spark's through already.
He's got it.
20
and that
points
means,
ahead.
If Iridium can't get the first place there as well, it means that he doesn't actually make up the gap there on Curiosity unless Curiosity comes last. He did. There you go. Exactly what was necessary to get a lead out here. And does take out the second place here. Isn't finalist yet, though, and will need to really push through here. That 100 points still up for grabs, and actually a very, very good fight for it right now.
Big GG's to Spark, taking out a very solidified win there. Looking very dominant on those last 2 maps especially. But Iridium and Curiosity both can't get finalists in this round. They both have to do another round to get onto it. So no matter what, if they win this round, it doesn't matter really until the next round. But Iridium is looking very solid here on Flojo, which in my opinion is a clean, smooth map. But again, this section here has caught me out so much. This little drift under to this outside corner, and you can clip that right side before the right corner up to the left. You can clip the inside of that circle. The map designers just want to bring everyone pain on every angle of the maps.
Do you remember who it was through qualifiers that was getting that unbelievable pace up through the plastic section? Because I think it might have been Nami.
Nami or Scorpo. I feel like Scorpo was very solid on this track as well.
Yeah, but there is just this massive amount to be gained up the plastic section if you're willing to take the scarier line there. But it was proven to be a consistent line, and it was proven to be a line that almost nobody else was taking. That was seen by everybody during the qualifiers, though, and you have to question if it's going to be put into practice immediately. That's a huge error. Iridium out ahead, Nami chasing.
Curiosity had a big collision there with a bush, I'm pretty sure, on the inside. That's not what you want to see when you're so close to Iridium. But this is going to be a
penalty grass. Make contact with that bush. That's a huge error.
Still trying to make the corner. It couldn't make it from that angle. Yeah. But Nami needs to shut down Iridium here. But even though Iridium wins this, won't be on finalists. They will be missing out by one singular point, which is just upsetting. You will really want to be on it finalists as early as you possibly can, so every round you win matters. But 50.0 flat is a great time to start off with here, though. Beautiful time.
It's such a tough track. I believe that's 7th there in the world of 50 flats. So, again, just setting massive paces for something that is proven to be something they can do consistently. Really, really high consistency levels. I think when I heard that a lot of Asia has stepped up to the mark to be able to perform at a high level, particularly India coming out here obviously for the ITC to compete. I think that's the biggest step up I'm seeing right now. We're seeing consistent times well within the top 10 almost 100%. Every single lap, and that is a step up even just from last year where everybody has been putting their all in to get consistency as a target for the region.
And I'm compared to last year as well, I feel like we've seen a lot less mistakes, as Curiosity is going to take the dub here against Nami, but that doesn't matter as well because we got a double finalist again. Another double finalist back-to-back on stream. This is going to be it. It's Iridium versus Curiosity. I've got Iridium here on this map. He's been consistent here all day, but Curiosity has been absolutely on a flyer in these upcoming rounds.
It is for the last qualifying position into the upper bracket, so it's going to be well fought for. Nami now actually pushing to be out ahead, though. Can
shut them down.
Actually shut both of them out for another round. Still actually possible. If he can do this back-to-back, he could get into a finalist position as well. Nami still in with a possibility here, holding lead for a long time. Everybody gaining here, though. That's the line. Can he hold it? Nami makes a touch on the back corner. Iridium out ahead now. It's looking like it might be the Iridium finish. It's got to be this top two. He taps the inside corner. Curiosity goes wide. It's a grey line through the ice. Curiosity takes it. Iridium sacrifices it to the pressure of having to make the perfect line and doesn't.
Oh, I feel so sorry for Iridium. We've watched that happen twice now in that same spot. Where they clipped the inner side of the platform and it just gave him a slowdown. But Curiosity comes out on top. GG, Spark, Curiosity, Iridium, and Nami. What a matchup we just witnessed.
And the fact that in the last round we started talking about Nami again as well, that's why we chose this group. It was always going to actually be a tough fight. Even our last place out of this one, Nami racing excellently here. Still consistency to be talked about from all four players. The mistakes were rare and minor. The biggest ones there may have just cost that second position, though. Curiosity coming through massively. Though in saying that, I think on that last map, the biggest mistake that was made that entire run was the bush at the beginning from Curiosity, and he still made it back too. So well done for the clawback.
Man was playing a bit of Fortnite. Just wanted to be a bush for a moment in his career. But again,
he snuck through in the bush. The camouflage worked.
Iridium came in here as the runner-up last year in ITC. Curiosity, I'm pretty sure, came 9th and 12th. 9th to 12th last year, and has absolutely proved that they have got a good chance this year, and they are looking very solid. I would be keeping a close eye on Curiosity. They're looking quick, and I feel like they're only getting quicker the more and more we see them play.
Oh, this is it's a crazy result here. The Spark out in first, not so shocking, but Curiosity, like you said, that was kind of Iridium's map to lose, and he even proved that last round he was out ahead. It wasn't by much, but we have seen him with the consistency to hold that lead before, but he knew that it had to be perfect and that Curiosity was going to be right there alongside him, as was the case, and that pushed him into an error. The tiniest touch on that wall. He didn't make a huge error. It wasn't a huge slowdown, but that point, whatever it was of a second that he lost from that tiny tire tap coming through that back corner before the ice was devastating, and Curiosity just holding mentally strong there, I think. So hopefully we've got ready results from our other matches as well. Our producer has been doing excellently here. There it is on screen now.
On.
Isn't he just all over it? So yeah, there you go. Sparking Curiosity up there in our top matchup. Scorpid and Divyansh again beating out Prain and DB. 42 Marshall Baines. Ojas or Oha. Somebody can probably give me a pronunciation on that one. That one I am genuinely clueless on. And Neo Cypher, great to see Neo Cypher pushing through again. I remember Prime from last year, so Neo Cypher pushing through in a good position there. Spark and DB, Nami and Scorpid.
Yeah, it's a tough bracket as well, though. A lot of these rounds were actually very close, but I'm pretty proud of how they came. Said Sensei came out on top in his bracket as well, which is good to see. Very surprising there, but I'm pretty sure we are going to head to a little break at the moment. So we are going to head off soon and give us a little bit of a time, but we will be back with round 3 in a couple minutes. So stay tuned. We'll see you shortly and see you soon. See you soon.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back for our final round of the day and our only elimination round of the day. That's right, we'll be sending some people home, including us, Lumens. We're going to be going home after this one as well, but we'll be back tomorrow. Let's make this last one good, though. It's been great working with you on this again. We are really warming up into the ITC scene again. I feel like it's been a really, really good day for it. We've picked all the right rounds so far.
Oh, we have picked absolute masterpieces of rounds, mate. We couldn't have picked any better. With double finalists and back-to-back rounds we've picked is what you could wish for as casters. And once again, I feel like this round that we have up with this matchup there's another chance we could have another double finalist here because we've got Code, Ojas, Dog A, and Marsh Beans, which are all potential. They can make that top 10 bracket. They can make it. All of them, I can see them having a chance there.
Also, shout out to the community, not just for being so welcoming to us, but also for the very well-needed corrections on pronunciations. Ojas with a J. Thank you guys in the chat for that one. I would have had no clue. So, oh my goodness, Code's doing it again. Somebody delete this man from the map. His horn. I can't. My brain.
So a lot of people wouldn't realize. Actually, no one would have realized. But off stream, we'll in the lobby and Code confused us all. Can we switch off Code, please?
Oh, that's I'm so glad that Code isn't winning this round. I'm saying it now. It better be true. I don't want to see him tomorrow. It's broken my brain too much already. He is I don't know. I couldn't pick this round, to be honest. I would expect Marshall Baines to be coming out of this one. That's really my only big pick here. We have seen some surprising results for everybody in this matchup, though.
Yeah, there's a lot of surprising results. Like, I don't think Marshall Beans should be in the lower bracket this early. I see them definitely being the favorite in this bracket. But like we see, we've got SRC Code, who, in my opinion, is underrated. He can also produce some good placements as well. He's also had Diff in 6 at ITC in 2023. So 2 years ago, he had a very good result in this tournament. So Code might be one to watch out for as well. So Marshall and Code, I'm expecting top 2, but I know Dog A can cook. And Ojas, I haven't really heard much of or seen much of, so I'm keen to see how they perform here as well.
Yeah, I'd like to see the step up from Dogger, though, because I think Dogger does have the potential there on peak performances. It does come down to when you get to the lower bracket stuff, it comes down seriously to that consistency. We already know the consistency there for those top 6, but now that we're looking at the lower end of things, you have to get that in. Consistency with speed is so tough down here, and there we go. Already errors from Marshall Baines, who was leading by some margin.
And Dogger as well had a big mistake. He clipped the up of the wall, and this is going to be SRC Code and Ojas are going to be leading the pack here. Ojas, pretty decent lead, about 1 second ahead. And we are in a bit of a lower bracket round, so we're not going to quite, at the moment, see world record-esque type of times. But if we do, the top people need to watch out, because these are some of the underrated players, in my opinion. But I can see some bright things here. Now, hopefully, Marshall, with that mistake, doesn't really let it get to his head and can come back here in this second round on this map 1.
All right, so you and I both coming out from Australia right now. Are you brought home a little bit by the name Dogger? I sure am. Like in Australian culture, that would just be somebody named Dog, and then we add R and call it a nickname. Like that's the we didn't shorten it at all. We added a syllable, but Dogger.
It's like Dazza.
That's 100% an Australian name there.
It's Dazza's long lost cousin. That's how I'm explaining Dogger right now.
Dazza and Dogger, yeah, 100%. I'm on board for that.
This is a beautiful round here from Dogger. As we're speaking of him, Ojas again is looking consistent at the front. As we head into that NASCAR turn, which can catch out a lot of these players. It's, Dogger and Ojas are very, very far ahead of Marshall and SRC, and it's looking very solid here. But I don't know who can take this. I thought Marshall Beans came into this as the finals, but at the moment, he's not looking very consistent here.
I feel like he's really succumbing to the pressure of being on the stream right now, to be honest. Like, there is genuinely a big difference between competing offline and in full view of Twitch. And Marshall Bain's making some big errors here. If that's the case, we can expect him to pick up. He will adjust to that over time. But it's already a fairly decent drop of points here. You now have to make up some serious time just to have the look in to be that number 1 spot again out from this. And I do think that Marshall Baines should have been from this and still can be out ahead now, making some good time on good corners here. Not all of them have been the fastest corners, but enough of them to be the majority here, and does mean he is in good contest for that first place right now. But Ojas just holding him off.
Ojas is looking very consistent on this track, specifically. Like, out of everyone in this lobby, Ojas has been the one that has nailed every single corner, every single lap, without a singular mistake. And it's shown again into this last section. We see they go down onto the grass. They're using alternate lines again. Ojas uses the outside to the inside, and bit of a mistake there from Marsh, and he almost got sniped by Dogger.
Oh my goodness. That's, I mean, I get the decision. There is an easy mistake to be made. We even saw some of the top players make that mistake and bounce off the finish line in the qualifiers. But you kind of can't risk that in this position here. Very close to losing second spot there, but Marshall Ben's earning some points back here, and now actually above Code again here with 12 points. I'm okay with that. It means we eliminate Code's Horn. Oh, Dogger just sent himself to the moon.
Two big mistakes just happened. Marshall had a big mistake off the start, and Dogger, I think, just rode the side of the board and took lift off. As Ojas again, it's going to be chasing down Code. Ojas had a bit of mistake coming out of the top bit, and Code leads into the NASCAR section by over a second and a half here. 0 mistakes equals an easy 10 points here, which Code will be very happy to have, as he's currently in 4th place in this group.
It's more mistakes from Marshall Baines, though. I mean, if he wants to win this, he's going to have to give him the beans, or Baines, or whichever way we put that. Code coming out in first there, which was desperately necessary for him, though. Marshall Baines does snipe second, and Oja slipping back. As I said, though, as we drop down to these, to especially this first round of these elimination rounds, you do see the mistakes coming out, and the mistakes coming out very, very crucially here from that bottom side of things. It is keeping things very competitive within this round, though. Yeah.
There's no one has a full lead ahead, like no round win ahead at the moment, which we've usually see in these rounds. Like we've seen Spark, even in that tight group, pull away by nearly 20 points consistently. He held that 20-point lead. But like now we see Ojas is trying to get a bit of a lead from Code and Dogger, but everyone is in arm's reach. It's a win away for everyone to be in first place. Reality.
Yeah. Ojas definitely has a lead right now, but like with this consistency issue, I do expect that the maps themselves are going to make a big difference. Whitehorn coming in now from Scorpid, and I think Marshall Baines might have a step up from the last map. May have been an inconsistent one for him specifically. And we might even see a little bit of tech coming up from Marshall Baines. I don't know if he's going to intend to hit that upper wall and bounce onto the boosters there. That could be interesting if that's natural tech he's trying to pull off there.
Also, I've got to give some respect to Ojas on this track. He's in the top 10 for world record here. He's on his 10th world record pace here. So he could be the one to watch out for a back-to-back map. Hopefully, Marshall can get a better start than map 1 here. I thought they would be in the lead by at least 5 points going into this second map, but Ojas has very much impressed me, and he's looking consistent at the start. He's pulled a bit away.
Doggo right behind here. Ojas gets the wider margin, and oh my goodness, he's made an error there. Doggo shoots ahead. Marshall Baines in behind now as well, with good pace out from that. The turn onto the plastic with the boosters on now, coming over the hot dog and straight back down. Getting this drift left here, if you can get that straight down to the bottom and then pull left, very crucial for the speed coming in, and of course avoiding that high wall there so that you can dodge the engine off block there. Marshall Baines only just getting that. My goodness, Ojas was on him.
Ojas, even with that mistake, almost caught up to the lead pack, which is it's showing his pace here on this track. But Marshall, decent run there as well. Doggo is alright, but Code and Marshall, I feel like they need to get first and second in this place here. But I this is just so close this round. You can't pick a winner already. Like, it's still less than 10 points between all four. Like, this is going to go deep. Line.
Oh, just that dirt corner at the beginning there, actually so deceptively easy to get the wrong line on there, and it does cost me an enormous amount of time. Code's going to cut downward here. Ojas has more speed out of it, but can't quite make the overtake. A good drift there onto the boosters again. Marshall Baines, he's coming up behind, but yeah, he's lost that speed again there.
Whoa. He's lost a bit of speed, but he's starting to pull it back up through his back straight. But Code has been keeping it clean. I think back-to-back runs here. I think he clipped the wall. He didn't clip the wall.
Marshall Baines. My goodness, he's overtaken just about everybody. From back to second there, and even making moves on Code at the last second. That was huge.
I don't know how Code didn't hit the wall there. I thought he touched the back wall with his back left. I thought he really touched it, but he didn't lose any pace and still made it over the engine off. But Marshall Baines really got a run out of that dirt corner. He rode the top as probably as top as he can get, and just got a bullet down the straight and got 2 of them on the last. But again, there is still not even 10 points between everyone in this group. Could we have a quad finalist? Is that even possible?
Code made a touch on that wall. Clipped it as they came through. Marshall Baines with the best line through here and the best pace. Should be making an overtake here. Does he get the right drift to hold it? It's neck and neck with Doggo right now, and he's made the error. Doggo and Ojas out the front. Ojas with speed. Doggo cuts the inside line right though, and out ahead again. Ojas now to get right in front. One more corner to go. Gets into the dirt. Can he hold the high line? Yes. Ojas over the engine off block. Marshall Baines to take it. Marshall Baines gives him the beans again.
Marshall Baines has the best last sector out of the lot right now. He is sniping players left, right, and center over that engine off. It's now 48, 38, 38, 37. 3 players are almost on the exact same point.
That's crazy.
Ojas is somehow slowly pulling away round by round, I think by like 2 points. But it's still anyone's game going into this first right on the sausage block. One of them goes a bit right, but Doggo's done well to get himself back in a good position to get that corner. No mistakes. Everyone seems to be warmed up now, Gex. No mistakes coming from anyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And some fast pace coming through that grass section means that there's not a lot of places on this map left for that time to be gained. Ojas out ahead means that it's likely to be a finish from him in first. But Marshall Baines on these last few turns has been able to make big gains. Oh, Code is actually in front. Oh, was! I say was! I have absolutely pinned him into the wall. That's on me. Marshall Baines will go third, but Ojas holds it very well this time, and no doubt to increase again on that lead, the 10 points goes in his favor.
Ojas is doing exactly what they need to do. They've noticed how close it's really getting in this lobby. Every win really does matter because that's the biggest gap you can get between each player is with that winning point. But as you say, Code, the caster curse kicks in instantaneously and he gets sent to a shadow realm. It was so good.
I don't know if it was his internet or mine, but he was fourth by some margin, left somewhere in the abyss of the track. And then Marshall Baines suddenly had a competitor in front of him, just about a meter ahead. So I'm really not sure what was ongoing there. Quite terrifying for Marshall Baines as well if he had the ghosts turned on, I'm sure. But he appeared and promptly bounced off a wall. So all's well that ends well, I suppose.
Well, here we are. We hop on to, I think this is map 3 of this round, and we're on the good old Voltrix, map number 1 of the map pack. In my opinion, one of my favorites, but also one of the hardest with gears. The gears are key. If you can get the nose slide off the start, you can really get an early gear to help you pick up pace. And then on the later dirt section, if you can keep the 4th gear and not drop the 3rd, you are easily keeping about 20 kilometers more pace than your component is going out if they lose the 3rd. So it's still 41, 44 for the 2nd place right now, Gex. Like, I don't know who is going to get 2nd. It's so close.
I think this is probably the map pack that the most I would be talking about gearing for of any I've ever gotten the chance to cast for. This pack has so many sections on grass where the wiggle is actually effective to keep those gears, and it is very much something worth talking about here. However, already errors without even getting to that point, as I see Code out well ahead, and everybody making errors. Code the only one through cleanly, as there's some massive wipeouts there. Marshall Baines at the back still hitting post.
That's clean, right? Clean run here from Code. He does drop that gear in the dirt section, but everyone else has dropped that gear as well. It is very tedious to get. That's a pretty decent time from Code, 47.4. Not bad at all. But Ojas as well, like, the big collisions at the back, there was too many crashes there. Maybe they're just getting it off, getting the dust off of this track first round. We did see it in the earlier maps as well. The first rounds were a bit dodgy, I would say, compared to the last couple rounds they had on the maps. But hopefully Ojas needs to get at least 1st and 2nd consistently here, just to be a bit safer with his lead headed into finalists. But SRC Code and Dogger are knocking at his door still.
Now, where's Marshall Baines gone at this point, really, is the question. Some serious consistency issues. Once again, a huge early error here. Again, not a track that he finds preferable, evidently, but SRC Code clean once more. Yeah, really not looking like this is a track that he's too worried about this time around, and is keeping... It might not be the highest of paces, but it just doesn't... It seems fairly faultless.
It's very consistent pace. That's the thing that he's needing. That's a 46.7 as well. He's just getting faster. He's slowly and steadily getting faster times. Can't complain. Again, SRC.
He will need to get faster, though. I mean, it's so tough. He's still 0.6 off of a top 10 time, which we know that the biggest races in this tournament right now are getting consistently in not just top 10, but around that 7th mark is where the consistency seems to exist for not just the top player in the tournament, but probably the top 5 really territory are all hitting that mark as a fairly consistent margin for error, and it's still a fair cry from that, but it's where you're aiming for, and consistency is how you get there. If you look at the best races in the world in every racing sport in existence, you look at F1, you look at any kind of circuit racing, you start slow and you move up without making the errors. You just dial that right line in time after time after time, and that's where the consistency comes from. So I don't mind seeing slower runs at consistency, because I think there's a lot to be gained out of it. Code again here with not a terrible run, will come in second. Marshall Baines finally not coming last, but it's the barest of margins to give him any props for, really. Here it is a drop back. Marshall Baines slowly losing the option for first and second place out of this round, I think.
He's not having the best run on these earlier maps, but hopefully the next two maps are in his favourite. But he's had a beauty of a start at the moment, actually. He's had a great start. Goes a bit wide on that section, which he's got to lose him a bit of time, but the others have followed the line. Oh, big risky for their Code. They had to slow down a little bit just to make sure he can get through. Oh. And there we go. Marshall has pumped the wall, head on into the wall. Big collision. It's going to leave Ojas and SRC Code again fighting for the lead. And Code has kept fourth gear through the dirt and should pull away a little bit more than expected from Ojas. There's 0.3 he gained.
I think even if he were to finish off this map with a perfect section through where that black post is, from here on out, he still would have hit it more times than there are rounds in this map. After multiple resets, continuing to hit it early on here, and it is proving to be just, that post has it out for him right now. And there it is, the end of the map. Certainly will be the case for him. I'm sure he will be very happy to have that one in the rearview mirror.
100%. And like we've said before at the start of this tournament, these maps, I feel like, are a lot harder than last year. So the fact that these players are even driving it consistently is ridiculous. Like, I struggle to even put a single lap down, let alone multiple back to back to back. It's very determined on your mental and just if your actual driving as well. Like, it can really take a toll. One collision can send you in a spiral, and it can affect you in next rounds and in the future rounds. But hopefully Marshall can figure out what is happening with the mistakes that are going on and bring in that consistency, because we've seen Marshall have very good pace on multiple tracks and compete against some of the best players in the region. But it's just, I don't know what's going on at the moment. It's just a little consistency issue that I think they should be able to sort out. I know they can sort out.
Yeah, I would agree. It really does seem like pressure is getting to Marshall Baines right now, and it's something we've seen him overcome in the past. However, there's just not that much time left. He knows that this is a knockout round as well. If he can't make that top two and he has to get there very, very quickly from here, then that will be the end of this tournament for him. He will not have more time for that improvement.
But that's the harsh reality of being in the lower brackets this early on. Like, you do get tough brackets here and there, but you do get put in sticky situations sometimes. And the best are the ones that can pull themselves out of these sticky situations. And at the moment, that seems to be Ojas. He has been on a tear in this matchup. And I thought I didn't even know about him before this. I thought it was going to be Marshall and Code. But it's Ojas right now. It's the Ojas show.
Yeah, I have to say, Ojas has been a bit of a shocker to me as well. I doubt the community was in any shock, though. I mean, with this level of consistency, Ojas certainly will have already made a name for himself amongst the other players here. SRC Code going to be coming in second here. Everybody actually pretty well nailing the exit on this one. So I guess what that really means, Lumids, is get good.
Hey, don't go calling me out now. That was a straight-up straighter. But Ojas has a chance here to get on the finalist already. And SRC Code has broken away from Dogger and Marshall. So their chances for a double finalist again are starting to get away from this here, which I wanted another one. I wanted 3 double finalists back-to-back. I wanted 3.
Yeah.
Oh, who was
That's
that?
not Dogger just wiped out on this transition. That was the transition there that I was saying to you earlier. I think if you put this map in a a regular campaign, there's a portion of the more casual players who would never make that transition. They just wouldn't be able to do this map. It is a very tough, right? And it's a very, very tough map pack when that speed check is there, and you're even seeing people out here in the group stages who aren't making that. That's crazy. Code goes out. Marshall Baines, for the first time in what feels like forever, making a first place by some margin. In fact, nearly 7 seconds on first place. Everybody wiped out there.
Code had a chance that he's made to slip up on the ice. The same mistake we've seen a lot of players make in the seeding. And believe it or not, Ojas is actually not on finalists. I thought he would be on finalists here, but with that big mistake he had, he didn't get enough points. He's 2 away now. So no matter what this round, he will be on finalists if he finishes. But he should have been on it right now. He could have been out. And he has a good chance to take it right now as well.
Marshall Baines, though, now dead even with Dogger and within a doable margin to catch SRC Code here. Ojas makes a huge error again. Marshall Baines out ahead with no competition to be found. Marshall Baines can take it easy from here. Does he know it? I mean, he is several seconds ahead now.
That was mistakes. Multiple mistakes happened on the track all at once. I was on a different side of the field.
Marshall Baines!
Oh, no! The ice again! Suffers another
out the window.
Oh, no!
Code's going to get it, which means Code will be at 96 points here. Ojas will go finalist, but I think we're going to have a double finalist position with this not seeming to be Ojas's map here. I can't see him taking out a first place while we remain on this map. We may even see multiple finalist positions taken out.
Hopefully, Code only needs a 4-pointer to bring on the double finalist, but Ojas needs that win to move on to the next round of competition, to move on to day 2. Marshall is slowly getting there. He's been going decent now. Is that a mistake from Ojas?
Yep.
No,
it's Dogger. Sorry, Dogger's gone way back.
Ojas
Code out in front.
Pulling this plastic bit. Ojas is on this chase. He's going to look from the inside into the grass. The less penalty you take, the better. What an inside line from Ojas to bring it into reach. Code makes the mistake. Ojas has a chance to win
the barrier, and he will do it.
He's got
There's no way he's missing this one. Dead center of the finish line. As Marshall Baines comes through in second again, he's still making position to make his way up here. Has to catch Code now, though, and that 10 points is off the table with Ojas finishing here. It's first place and another finalist position found as we change map again. And I felt like that map maybe was the chance for Marshall Baines. He has to be just as good, if not better, on this one for there to be any chance for him. Otherwise, Code has got this one sorted as well. I feel like it's just barely a discussion for Marshall Baines at this point, really.
Yeah, it's same as Dogger. Dogger was looking good in the earlier rounds. They were all side by side, even in the first 2 maps. But that third map really opened the door for Ojas and Code to make a break for it. And now Code being on finalist with over 20 points ahead of the person behind in third. It's going to be tough here for Marshall to even bring it in range. All Code needs to do is to win a singular round on aerial, which is if you crash once here, you are losing easily a second to 3 seconds minimum.
Well, I mean, this is another track that is going to test consistency as well. I mean, so many points for error here. Possibly not the full wipeout that we were seeing in that last map, but those plastic transitions, you get a bit of a bounce going and you just don't get the tires down. You're going to be behind your opponents. You don't get the turn in right up that ramp for the checkpoint. You're going to lose a lot of time going high on it. There are multiple make and break points here that are a little more subtle than the other tracks, but probably more of them than any other map in the pack, in my opinion.
Judging from the start, Dogger looks amazing on this track. But look at Code has absolutely nailed it up to the half pipe. Gets the front wheels down as smooth as you could like it. this might be his chance right here, Gex. Code might be able to shut it away now. First round of the map.
Anybody touch that inside wall? I think everybody did, actually. That's a full slow round through here. Has to get the transition right. Low transition by Marshall Baines and Code. Dogger's a little bit late on that one. Code still holding a really good lead here, though. Everybody has the speed to make the gap. Now, Code, again, just to hold it through. They're all going the tight finish. They're all going to make it. No! Dogger! He's out, but it does not matter. SRC Code with the finals position and the win there will take the second spot in the first possible opportunity. Marshall Beans can't give him the Baines.
I thought Code wasn't going to make that risky fitness jump. He lost a bit of speed going down into the left. And as he hooked it right, his wheels just made it over the lip. But again, GG's to Ojas. Pretty dominant performance after the second map. He's going to be one to watch out for in the upcoming competition. But Code, again, really showing why he should be in the top. And he takes away second place. Marshall had a great one after this. The first two maps were a bit questionable, but after those, Marshall came in very strong. And again, my brain just cooked, sorry.
I've been too distracted by chat, to be honest. Duck Brass said GG, SRC Code with the best horn. Where are the admins in the chat? Can we get a timeout for that? That is disgusting speech in the Twitch chat. There, SRC Code. I expect it changed by tomorrow just to prevent us going into complete brain cell loss here. I don't have enough of those left as it is. I'm banging them together like a caveman with rocks to produce sounds from my mouth, as is my job. But it's really being put to the test here. Ojas, though, what a finish. That first place was so well earned. I wasn't expecting that consistency. It wasn't a name that I identified personally that well, but obviously I just need to pay a little more attention to the scene because that is too consistent and too high pace to ignore here, and a very big come up from this man.
And also, we've got to give a shout out to Marshall Baines and Dogger. They both put in a great performance. 80 points each. Everyone was pretty close the whole way through. It was 10 points between for multiple rounds. But we do have results from the other matchup as well, Gex. 42 and Sid Sensei are moving on into day 2 as well. Neo Cypher and Cider Gaming have been eliminated, sadly. But 42, I had a feeling would make it. He did look very consistent.
Did you really? Because I thought maybe there's a chance there. He could.
Oh, I don't know.
I wonder how fast he got that 100. Were they allowed points?
Yeah.
Was it an auto qualify for 42 there?
I'm judging by 60. It looked like 42 got there pretty quick at the end of the day. If it was 60 up there for third place. But nevertheless, it
very
has
rough
been
to
a
face
beautiful
him
day.
in the lower bracket in general. But congratulations if you are going out here like Marshall Baines there. He can go eat his beans. He's been sent home as one of the first losers. Congratulations. You won it losing. You are going home today, but you will be back. I have no problem saying that to Marshall Baines because I know that he knows he's been in this for better than that as well, and it's all in good fun here. Thank you guys for coming out to the ITC as well. It is day 1 of the ITC number 8 here, Indian Trackmania Cup number 8, and I think it's been an excellent day 1, Limits, for setting our expectations for tomorrow.
It's been a beautiful day, honestly. Like, it's a lot of upsets in my eyes, but also a lot of people in a position where we think they should be in. Like Spark and Iridium are where we think they should be. 42, we weren't expecting that to happen. Nami got put into an awkward situation as well, same as Scorp, but they both pulled themselves out of those bad situations to make it into day 2. So it's still anyone's game. I don't know if Spark has as easy as a run as he's had in the past to this year.
No.
I feel like ITC 8 is a lot closer than people really think at the moment.
We talked about the people to come up and take it from him last year, and it didn't happen. So we need that step up. But I do agree, and it seems like the community agrees as well. Everybody ready for Asia to step up to the dominance that we've seen in the past. It does seem like the consistency is better than ever. Those paces set high and are holding high. That is the big difference here, and from multiple people as well. Really, we were looking through those qualifiers at a top 8 that were all setting massive paces there, not just a top 2, 3, 4 players there. So some big step ups here, and I am ready for a new victor. So Spark, hope you're listening to that. We'll see you tomorrow, Spark. We'll see everybody tomorrow. Thank you for coming out, and we'll catch you on the other side of this. Thank you once more to everybody for having us out, to Spark for obviously running things in the background here, as well as all the stuff, to loraii for our production, and we'll be back tomorrow with more ITC number 8 Lumens. I'll catch you then.